right, folks, welcome back. We'll get to your super chats and D-Lives in a minute. So I was on Tony Bruno, Bruno, on Saturday. Tony Bruno, his YouTube channel is Tony Bruno, Bruno, T21 Surfer. Tony Bruno, Bruno, T21 Surfer. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Tony. I'm always trying to turn people away from me and back to God. And I always tell people, I don't know, always been, but don't let any human being, no matter if it's a preacher, the teacher, whomever, don't put anyone above you. No one is better. No one knows anything that you don't know, because we all know the truth. We just have to look within and live from there. And when you hear the real truth, the witness inside of you come alive, and it witnesses that is the truth. That's how you know it's from God, not because I said it, but because you can see it yourself. And so the last thing I desire in my life for anyone to put me over them, or I've never put anyone over me. I wasn't raised that way, first of all, but now I understand the spiritual aspect. I would never put anyone over me, and I never want to be over anyone else, because first of all, nobody want to deal with that. Well, I don't, because people are a mess. And then I don't want to be their leaders. I want God, the same God that's leading me, to lead them. So I'm always trying to point people back to themselves. But in their mind, they see me as an authority figure, or they see me as that. And then when they see a flaw, they judge me as though I make them see me in a different way. And that's the last thing I want.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes people have me in a position like that, and I can't tell that they see me that way until they turn on me, and then they'll blame me for the way they felt, and I didn't even know they were feeling that way.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think that is, Jesse? Why do people turn on you? Because they look at you. I think maybe they look at you as their idol, or
they have me in a higher position than they have themselves, and they, instead of letting God be their God, they see me like a God. Even though I don't see myself, I have to pray all the time. I watch. I have to do everything that everybody else have to do, even though I know God is speaking through me and using me, because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if He didn't make that happen. But I see myself as I see anyone else. I don't see myself below or above anyone. But in their mindset, because they don't understand the deception of the thoughts will have put me there in their mind. And I'm thinking that maybe they don't realize it until they disagree with me about something. And all of a sudden, they see me the same as someone else. But they blame me for the way they see it. They'll say, oh, you brainwashed me, or you did this. When I wasn't brainwashing them, I didn't even know they felt that way. But they're caught up in their imagination and they don't realize. You asked about a leader or something like that?
Yeah. Like different leaders. You're a leader in the Christian community. And I think it's the way that you present your message. To me, it's very simple. And I think it can resonate with a lot of people. So I think that's why people are drawn not to Jesse, but to your message. Because it can resonate with them. It's a simple way of understanding Christianity, understanding you're not throwing Bible verses. And I'm noticing that in the chat now. And I think somebody had said, if there's a Bible verse, there basically has to be a Bible verse for everything. Now, I don't know if that's really true. So,
number one, I hope, I know I don't see myself as a leader. Mm-hmm. And because when you put yourself up as a leader, you're causing people to follow you. And I don't want people to follow me. I want them to follow Christ. I want them to follow God. And that's why I'm constantly telling people what you're looking for is in you and not in nowhere else but in you. And so I don't see myself in that way, and I don't want people to see me. I'm not an authority. I'm not a leader. I'm a witness to the truth. Mm-hmm. Because of what God is doing through me. So I am a witness, but not a leader. Christ was a witness. He was greater than me. I'm not comparing myself to him because he had no sin. And that's why he was born of the Father, so we could return to the Father. Christ was born of the Father, not of the mother. We were born of the mother. As a result, we were born in sin. Christ had no sin. And so, and as far as Bible verses, the Bible is the word from God, but the word of God is in our hearts, in our souls. And our soul is a chip off the old block, just like it's a part of God's nature. And so, the Bible, if you read the Bible, it tells you the truth about God and where he is. And that is the beginning of looking within. So you hear that, you read that truth or you hear, but you're not supposed to hold that in your head because it keeps you away from the truth within. We're supposed to live by the living word, the word made flesh, and that's inside of us. And it's taught to us by the Holy Spirit. And we already know it because it's already there. We just forget it when we're traumatized. And what the Holy Spirit does is he reminds you of what you already know, but you've forgotten when you were traumatized, when you turned away from the fathers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because if you notice, the Bible thumpers that hang on to the word, the written word, they're emotional, they're doubtful, they're blind, their lives are difficult, they have no love. And it's because they have not entered into the kingdom. They may know the Bible, but they don't know God. They know about, it's like somebody write about you, mention you, your name. They'll know about you, but until they get to one with you, they would never know you. And so they don't know God because they never become one with the Father.
Now, when you say judgment, should we judge people? Do we have the right to judge people?
We don't have a right to judge at all. We discern. We can see injustice, but don't hate it. We can see people doing wrong and whatever, but don't hate them for it, because let ye without sin cast the first stone. And there's not one on earth who has a right to do that. But we see injustice, but don't judge it as right or wrong. Then
Hey, Tony, you're muted
from it. But you also understand why that person is doing or what they're doing. You would see that they can't help it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, man, we are live. Thursday night reality check. How's everybody doing tonight? I've got a special guest with me tonight. It is Tony Johnson of 21 Studios.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here. Glad to be here in a pretty angry mood, but ready to rock and rumble and crack some skulls.
Yeah, that's what we have to do every now and then, man. So, but I want to welcome everybody in the chat. Who do we got here? We got Uncle Guns, James Pimentel. I've never seen him before. English from Mr. Finn. Mr. Finn, good to see you. Woody Johnson, good to see you. Peg Bell, our newest moderator, good to see you. So you can scrub any comments, Peg. I should have done that for you a long time ago. Let me see. Who else do we got here?
Is there any beta males in the chat?
Yeah. So if, speak up. Anybody say hi in the chat. But yeah, tonight's topic is the cults of Christianity with a question mark. And there's a reason why I have a question mark and I call it the cults of Christianity. I think that there's a lot of segments of Christianity that are cult-like. And I think we've witnessed one recently. We all know about the Jesse Lee Peterson scandal. And again, I did play those clips for a little bit of context. And the context I was trying to give was that, I consider Jesse a good friend. Okay. He's been on this channel a few times, and I did appreciate him coming on. There's been things that have come out recently that are not settling with a lot of people. There's going to be something I'm going to say tonight. It's going to be a theme. It's not personal. Because what I'm finding out is that you can talk shit about anybody and just say it's not personal at the end, and it's okay. So anytime you want to talk shit about somebody, just say it's not personal at the end. So you could say, like, make an avatar with my face on it, but then you can say it's not personal, so it makes it okay. So I just wanted everybody to know that. So, but so it's the cults of Christianity. There's a lot of cult-like activity in Christianity. I mean, I grew up in Christianity, and I can tell you that the church that I went to in my, we'll say junior high to senior high, high school years. It was a cult style church. It was an Assemblies of God, but it was cult style, from speaking in tongues to, everything that could be a mess was a mess, right down to the pastor screwing the organist, homosexual activity, everything. Very, very cult-like. So I saw it firsthand. And now we have this issue with Jesse. And I'm going to let everybody know that hasn't maybe give you a little context. If you saw the documentary called Amazing Disgrace, I'll probably end up putting a link down below for that. And if you look at that, it's basically a documentary on a lifestyle. Now, one thing I want to say is that, I want to make this statement. Is there can a man be a victim of we'll say, sexual advances? Can a man be a victim of sexual assault? That's a tough one nowadays. When we see like these school teachers sleeping with a young kid, we don't always look at the young kid. A lot of people say, oh, geez, I wish that happened to me in high school. So we look at it different. But now when it comes to, say, a man on man type incident, I guess in the normal world, we'll say if it wasn't in a Christian setting, I think it could be blown off pretty easily. But I think the fact that it is in a Christian setting, I think people need to take note of this and pay attention to actually what's going on. I think you need to stop looking at the man and start looking at the situation. A lot of people say they don't look at the man, but they actually do. There's people that parrot these different cult leaders, and I'm guilty of it too. I mean, I love Jesse, loved him, man. He was always a fixture on my streams, always, my little memes or, just the things that I play, the little video shorts and things like that. So but I also looked at Jesse as a friend, and I looked at him as a man. So I had to take an objective point of view. Now, at one point here, it was, I'm trying to think what day it was, but I did talk to Samuel. And Samuel, everybody knows Samuel. If you don't know him, he's Samuel. He was known as Samuel, the Mexican car wash boy. He was a part of Jesse's show. Now, I had a 40-minute video chat conversation with Samuel, and I did tell a couple people that, yeah, I 100% confirm this, but I guess that's not good enough for them. So I guess I'm supposed to speak out of confidence. In other words, when somebody tells me in private and they're ready to come out and talk about it. But I'll tell you what, if one of my friends told me that and said, hey, this is what I found out, I can't really tell you what it is, but just kind of trust me on this one. I would understand that. That's what I would do. I would take a step back, and I wouldn't be so quick to defend somebody. But after I talked to Samuel, and in depth and very graphic, I come to find out that I don't want to say too much until Samuel speaks more publicly about this. That the situation was quite sick. Now, I don't want to put the blame on somebody, but I am going to say that as a Christian leader, and I know Jesse can say he's not a leader, but he is, you get, again, we're talking about cults. It's easy for people to look up to you. People want to emulate you. People want to do what you're doing. And call it whoever, you can call it whoever's fault you want. But the fact is that I had a long conversation with Samuel, and he got very in depth in the situation. He was on a stream that I told him about the other, I think it was, I don't even remember. I think it was Monday night. I don't remember. Monday or Tuesday night. I don't remember. But he did kind of talk about the situation, and he was basically ignored. So in my situation, it was, let's believe Jesse, let's not believe Samuel, which I think is the wrong thing to do. But that's, again, I want to state this to a few people. When you make a statement, sometimes say, in my opinion, okay? And I know we have the onward Christian soldiers who everything is right. Whatever I say is right, whatever, So, and again, it's not personal. And I'll keep saying that tonight. Okay. But so that's kind of where we're at. I did have a talk with Samuel. And like I said, very graphic, in depth. And I have made my mind up. I don't know what else to say. I didn't see any tells on lying. There was no touching your nose or not looking at me. It was quite, for somebody to say those kind of things, it takes a lot. And there's no monetary gain for Samuel. He's basically all alone. I think the church militant kind of pumped him and dumped him, in my opinion. So I think that legal counsel and some sort of legal action in, we'll say, forcing Jesse to make a statement. I think that's going to be necessary. And for the people that don't want to hear it, I think you're really part of the cult, is what it is. I think you should demand a statement from Jesse. I think that's important. I demand a statement from Jesse. Something. Respond to it. Say something. That's all. Say I didn't do it. How about that? But if you can't even say that, to me, that's kind of an admission of guilt, And it's not like, if you're going to be a homosexual, that's great. But if you're going to be preaching on it and all that stuff, like, how about like preaching against it and then you're doing it? It's kind of like a lot of the times we see that in the manosphere with a lot of guys, with Donovan and things like that. Single moms, here we find out, oh, there you go, So anyways, I want to welcome Tony Johnson. Tony Johnson, how you doing, man? I'm sure you got a few things to say about this.
I have a lot to say, Tony, and I'm doing fucking great. I'm really glad to be here.
Good,
hey,
man.
woman.
Hey, woman. Yeah. So
I don't even know where to start, but if you have questions, man, just go ahead.
I want to know what you first thought when you heard about this. Now I've seen the other documentaries, and I kind of brushed them off. And the reason that this one hit me so hard is because I know Jesse and I know Samuel. Samuel was an attendee at 21.
That's right.
And it's not like I haven't communicated with him. So I've communicated with him since I met him. It'll be almost 2 years in October.
Yeah.
I consider both these guys a friend.
Yep.
So that to me was kind of like the smoking gun right there, we'll call it.
It's one of the main smoking guns. You have a bunch, but Samuel, someone we know in particular. I don't know him nearly as well as you do, but I remember meeting him several times at my event and even at the Bond event that I filmed, that I was paid to film by Bond, my company. So yeah, like you mentioned, there's no financial incentive. I mean, basically, there's a lot to unpack with this whole thing. And by the way, shout out to Pastor Michael Foster, a woman to him. I thought he did great on your show on Sunday, really being patient. And I'm not patient. Like, I'm not going to be patient on these issues, especially at this point. But on Sunday, when he was talking to one of our old attendees and your buddy, the dumbest guy in the manosphere, Problem Man, I thought Michael did a really good job, debating these guys and just being very patient. There's a lot to say, actually. Your show was very influential on me going to war, like I told you. And people don't know that publicly, but now they do. So let me start there. Like you asked briefly here a minute ago. I first found out about this very late on Friday night, almost midnight, maybe like 11 o'clock p.m., my time locally. And I was at a buddy's house with my girlfriend. We were like just kind of, drinking, like eating cheese and fucking, I'm just fucking around, right? Just having a good time. And so I started hearing this video, and there's music playing too. Like I can barely hear it. So I first, when I opened it, I didn't know really what the fuck it was. I'd never seen church militant. I didn't know anything about this organization. I didn't know anything about, who made the video or nothing. I was just listening to it, scrubbing. And I could barely even make out the words. But the more I listened to it, the more my eyes went kind of wide. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then I realized I knew one of the guys. I saw Samuel, Mexican car wash boy. And I'm like, it was a very slow, like, holy shit. There's a bunch of dudes on video that one of them I know who are on a real documentary accusing Jesse Lee Peterson, alleged Christian pastor for 30-something years who runs some sort of alleged Christian church. And he's been having homosexual activity, putting his dick in dudes' buttholes in their mouths, and like, preying on young men coming to his church with all these guys, and probably a lot more. There's no way it's just those guys. So yeah, it was a very Friday night was kind of weird. I was like, all right, let me sleep on this, wake up, and really get a good review of it. And it was Saturday morning, and I really, went through it in the morning. I watched it several times, combing through, paying very close attention to the detail. Every guy's face, their vocal tonality, the way they move, the way they look at the camera, the way they look at the interviewer. I'm not some Joe Navarro FBI agent, but I've studied body language in real life extensively for a long fucking time because it's really useful for navigating the world as a man, for self-defense purposes, and for banging chicks, frankly. Like watching people and reading the room and protecting yourself too. Like this is not funny. Check hands, check faces, check the exit, like check everything. So it was obvious to me even watching it after several times, there was no indication these guys were lying, any one of them, never mind all of them. And that to me is one of the biggest smoking guns, is not just your conversation with Samuel. And I've talked to him a little bit as well, just, in writing at this point. And I'd like to talk to him soon as well, on the phone. The people who are saying it's like some conspiracy, they're basically alleging, and this is why I know these guys saying this are either in a cult, they're in very aggressive denial, or they're just delusional and dumber than shit. Dumber than a box of rocks, to put it frankly. There's no way that like George Soros, parachuted with money out of the plane, dumped $100,000 on all these guys to have them make all these crazy allegations that span 10, 20 years. Like that Patrick Rooney guy is someone, I've never met him, but the idea that he just went on video under penalty of getting a civil or even criminal defamation lawsuit, he said he had gay sex with Jesse Lee Peterson for 10 years, completely independent of anyone else in the documentary. That guy, I'm betting I'd bet a lot of money, is perfectly ready and willing to go under oath and give an affidavit and testimony, a legally binding testimony that this was his life and this was his experience with Jesse. I guarantee you there's a fucking paper trail for that, just like most of these guys, or all of them in the documentary. And so that's what's kind of so weird to me. And Michael Foster addressed this to some degree on your show that night. The idea that you have this mountain of smoke and literally every word of it is fabricated lie. People are getting paid off. This is childish, immature Marvel movie crap. These people saying this, that's like liberals who say like Americans couldn't win a civil war. The people who say that are fat beta losers who jerk off too much and play Call of Duty all day. They're retards. The people saying that it's some vast conspiracy, as if Jesse is running for president and he has Hillary Clinton putting out hit pieces on him like this. These people are in denial, or frankly, they're just dumber than a box of rocks, to put it nicely. They're dumber than shit. These people are stupid. They don't know how the world works. They're blue pill as fuck, and they're stuck in a cult. And my patience is running thinner and thinner by the day, which is why I keep the war up now. We're a total war to expose and destroy the fraud, the predator, the super predator, the homosexual super predator, cocksucking faggot of Jesse Lee Peterson, who has been lying to my face for years, all of my friends, all of my speakers, all of my fans, all of my customers, the entire manosphere, huge chunks of conservative politics, MAGA, America First. This guy is the sickest, twisted fuck I have ever seen personally in my life and professionally as an entrepreneur. I have absolutely less than zero respect for this guy at this point. I don't think he's anybody's friend. I think when I heard him talking on your clips here you put at the beginning of the show, I don't think he believes a word that he's saying, not one. This guy is a psychopath and a predator and a vampire. Absolutely no mercy for this guy at this point. I am 100% convinced Jesse Lee Peterson is evil. That's what this guy is, and that's what this guy does. He's not just sick. He's not just unwell. He doesn't need a friend. He's evil. He's a piece of shit. I hope he goes bankrupt. He probably belongs in fucking jail. And if we're lucky, he'll go to jail. This guy is a sick fuck who's been preying on hurt, wounded men for 30 fucking years and getting away with it and trying to downplay and go after these accusers, stalking them at their homes and shit. This guy is a sick fuck. And anything that can be destroyed by the truth deserves to be destroyed by the truth. And Jesse Lee Peterson is numero fucking uno in that totem pole of shit. This guy, he's not a Christian at all. He never has been. He's probably a fucking atheist or something. I'm an atheist objectivist. The difference is I don't fucking lie about it and run a church and pretend to be a Christian, a religious leader. This guy is this belongs on the front page of CNN, New York Times, and Fox News right now. And the reason it's not, at least for now, is because he's black and he's a Trump supporter. If this guy was a Biden voter, every fucking right-wing YouTuber, Twitter guy would be all over the shit in a heartbeat. And if he was white and not black, all the left would be after it too, even harder. The feminists may still come in and swoop in. As much as I don't like them, they're all a bunch of assholes. This is their boogeyman. You know, closeted homo pastor who bashes. Jesse Lee Peterson has to be the biggest homo basher on the internet. I don't know about you, Tony. I literally don't know anyone else who has a bigger audience who bashes gays like he does.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a Christian, allegedly, right? That's not true. It's false, fake fucking news. I mean, this guy has sat on video and radio for 20, 30 years in books and interviews and speeches bashing gay people while he was getting dicks in his mouth and up the butt, for, as I understand it, and putting his dick up butts. I mean, and here's what, it's something you say a lot, Tony, as a euphemism or a joke. Like, you build 100 bridges, you're not considered a bridge builder. You suck one dick, you're a dick sucker, and you're gay. If Jesse has ever put a dick in his mouth in his entire life, every single thing he's ever said is fake and fraud. All of it. And that's what I believe beyond any shadow of a doubt is true. It's not even plausible that you gathered all these fucking people and you paid off some Catholic ultra right-wing organization to attack some other right-winger. This is fucking delusional. It's what little 10-year-olds do, like in middle school. They imagine all this bullshit. This shit's real. This is the sickest predation I have ever seen. I am stunned that it's bigger and worse than Jack Murphy and Rollo Tomasi combined. As far as I know, Rollo's not grooming dudes and putting their dicks in his mouth. Okay? Jack Murphy, even, as much as he put dildos up his butt, was mostly just scamming guys out of money for $100 a month or whatever on his little thing. I don't think he was in there, as far as I know anyway. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but to my knowledge, no one even alleged that he was doing something like this. Jesse has been using Jesus Christ and the Christian religion to put his dick in dudes' mouths for decades. This is fucking sick. It is absolute madness. It is sickness. Everybody on the internet and in this country should hate this piece of shit. That's what he deserves. I am not a Christian. I'm not into any of this forgiveness crap. And blah, 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 blah. He's not going to repent. And if he did, it would be fraud, just like Jack Murphy. Oh, if you don't forgive me, you're not a Christian, you're not a patriot, you're not an American. What a piece of shit that guy was. Jesse will barely even acknowledge this. Imagine if Michael Foster had half a dozen men come out tomorrow and accuse him of touching their dicks and fucking them in the butt. You think Michael Foster would just be like, oh, no big deal? He would lawyer up immediately and put out a statement correctly stating that that is 100% false and they're going to get sued. People that say, you know, Jesse, I hope he sues you, I hope he sues you. These people are stupid. These are the same retards who believe Donovan Sharp is a red pill alpha male who's going to sue Anthony Johnson, and he has, 15 of the best lawyers in the country working on it. They're retards. These people are autistic and stupid. And I'm just totally fucking done by having any patience for any of them, unless I know them personally. Like with you, Tony, some people around me encourage me to be patient with you. They're like, hey, just give Tony a couple days. And that was 100% wise advice, because you were masculine enough and strong enough and smart enough to figure it out on your own in your own way. And that's totally legitimate, to be supportive and patient with a friend. But as far as all these strangers on the internet and these cucks and the Beavis and Buttheads and these fucking mama's boy retards, I have the clank fucks. These people are all dumber than shit. They can go suck Jesse's dick for all I care. And then when they're done, they can eat my fucking shit out of my asshole. I'm just done with these people, man. And rant.
Well, tell us how you really feel. One of the things that, is I saw a couple of the explanations, we'll call it, it's done by a Catholic organization. The Catholics just don't like the Protestants. This is just evil. Okay. These are just evil people that are using him. These are lying drug addicts. They would say anything.
These are the people that Jesse has preyed on for years. These are hurt, wounded men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, let's get into things that things that happen in a cult. And again, Jesse will say, don't follow him, follow the message. And I do understand that, but a lot of people do follow him.
No, and that's why he said it. He's just like Rollo, right?
Well,
I'm not an alpha male. Don't just follow. It's all about the mission and the message. No, it's about building a cult. He's like Rollo, but much older and much bigger and frankly, he's more intelligent.
One of the things that I noticed when I was looking into what cults are, one of the things that Michael Foster had said, now I looked into this, would be called uncommon practices. Okay, that's a sign of a cult. So there's a lot of uncommon practices in the Jesse Lee Peterson organization. One of the uncommon practices would be the silent prayer. Now, myself, I thought it was helpful to me. I'm not gonna lie about that at all. I thought it was helpful. I'm a Christian. I do pray, but this was a very unusual, like we'll call it an uncommon practice. But the silent prayer, I don't think is that something that's in the Bible? I don't know, but I think that's something maybe if Foster comes on, he can address.
It's definitely not. You got it from some British hypnotist. It's all a scam. Everything that I'm telling you, everything this guy's done has been intentional, and that's what made me so mad about this stream video with Michael Foster on Sunday. It became, the more I watched it, the more obvious it became to me, blindingly obvious, that those two guys on your show, one of them I know in real life, I've met, an attendee, one of our old attendees from an event. These guys had been conditioned and groomed and brainwashed. I don't mean that as hyperbole. I don't mean it to be exaggerating. I'm not joking. I'm not playing. No cap, son, right? Whatever the fuck. It's serious. That's how it became obvious to me that a predator had brainwashed them on purpose. That was really, really alarming. And that was when it finally clicked for me on Sunday night watching your stream. These guys had been preyed on and they were fucking oblivious to it. Completely stonewalled oblivious. They're going to fight tooth and nail to protect their digital daddy because they got Jesse's digital dick in their mouth. And they're pathetic. And they're codependent. And they're weak. And they're broken. They should heal. They should get stronger. They should get better. I'm all for that. But I'm not going to, pussyfoot around what they are. That's what I see. That is a spade. I'm calling a spade a spade. These men are pathetic. And
Okay.
Jesse has preyed on them.
I have a theory. I have a theory that I kind of came up with here, that maybe some of the people who are protecting him, okay, have had homosexual experiences.
Oh, probably, for sure.
That's kind of a theory. It's a theory, like I said.
That's why he bashes gay people. Because it lures in the prey. Guys who are molested as children and stuff. That's why he does this, man. Because it's some of it's on the internet, but in real life, I guarantee you out in LA and California, this is how he's been able to do this. Bash all the gay stuff. You get some guys who are like really uncomfortable being gay and they're confused or whatever the fuck, right? And they've been abused as children and they get roped into this. It's funny, haha, amazing. What the? All that little zinger bullshit he's got. And then, bashing the homos and stuff and the gays and Satan is your daddy. Oh, are you confused about being gay? Come here. Let me give you a hug. Let me give you a 10-minute hug. Here, let me touch your thighs. This man is a sick fuck. He's like a serial killer. I don't know if he's killed anybody, but this is the same mentality. This guy is a sick piece of shit. Like, I'm not playing, man. This is why I've been so aggressive with the memes and the videos and the tweets and the newsletters and everything. This guy is the sickest piece of shit I have ever seen in my personal life. I'm sure there's sicker. I'm sure there's worse. There's people who literally go out and murder hookers and shit, right? Whatever. But this is bad. The manosphere has never seen anything like this. Oh, hey, here's Samuel speaking up.
We do have Samuel in the chat. Samuel, welcome, man. I appreciate you. Samuel says, hey, guys, first, thank you, Tony and Anthony. I really appreciate you guys. I didn't expect this support. Second, I'm willing to go under oath if I had to. Back to work. We'll keep listening. Thanks, Samuel, for saying that. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Like I told you, fast in the week, man. I got you. I got your back.
Yep.
You have an army behind you now, brother. So
he has awakened the dragon. Like, I was fired up, just going after Donovan and Rolo and these other fucking losers. But this is way more urgent and more important, and it's way more twisted. And I'm more than happy to step up and help this guy. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a big problem, and it goes well beyond Samuel and all those guys. And if it doesn't stop now, it's going to keep continuing. I want Bond to go bankrupt, not out of malice, but out of a respect and a reverence for the truth and for justice and for living in a free and a rational country where people like frauds like this get exposed mercilessly. I mean, they get sued, they go to jail, whatever.
Look at this statement. I'm willing to go under oath if I had to. I would say he would be willing to go on a lie detector. Not a problem.
Yeah. The oath, though, is where it's the minute you sign, you swear an oath and you give an affidavit or testimony, it's really serious. It's a felony if you lie. Whether it's a deposition or you're doing it willingly or whatever, like, you can't lie. Doesn't mean people don't. You know, FBI agents, Hillary Clinton, all these fucking people, these powerful people. But when you're just an average Joe, you better not fucking lie. You ask to go to jail. They're not going to. You don't have obviously the power and the privilege of these other politicians doing stuff. So yeah, that says a lot right there. It's a very simple comment from Samuel, but it's like these people watching. I mean, mostly people I think at this point will get it in your show, but you know, if this goes viral or other people see it, there's a bunch of butthurt losers that don't want to face the truth.
Yeah, Samuel, again, I appreciate you speaking up, man. That takes a lot. That takes a lot. And again, our conversation is private until you want to talk to somebody else or talk on camera or more. And you know, we're going to make sure that you have some legal support here soon, also, because I don't like the way that the church militant kind of treated you. I think.
Well, let's be patient with them. I mean, if there's actually legal action against any of the victims, not just Samuel, I think they would step up pretty quick. But so we haven't seen them tested yet, basically. Mm-hmm. If they get tested and they puss out, that's a problem. It's a serious problem. But I know their attorney follows me on Twitter now, for example, and I think they do have an attorney on retainer, like full time or close to it. So let's see.
Yeah. So let's talk about the brands of Christianity. I think there's a lot of brands, and every brand doesn't like the other brand. You know, the Christians hate the Mormons. The Christians hate the Jews. The Christians hate the Catholics.
Oh, I think you're talking about the denominations. Yeah, there's hundreds, or technically, I think there's thousands.
But I'm saying in general, I'm talking about Christianity tonight. Okay? Yeah. But it seems like the Christian.
I don't think Jews are Christians. You said Jews.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the Christians don't like the Jews.
Christians
the Jews. The Christians don't like the Catholics. There's Michael Foster. Michael Foster, you got the link. You are welcome to come on. He says, I love everybody. I know you do. I was about to say there is one guy in this whole situation that if his church was close to me, I'd be there every Sunday. But when I saw Michael Foster doing his church service at 21 on Sunday morning, it just kind of gave me an awakening also. In other words, this is the kind of man I want to hear talk. Yeah. This is the kind of man that I want to hear lead a fellowship. So I have a lot of respect for Michael Foster. He's not a pussy, number one. He's a fighter. And I would imagine that his type of, I'll call it pure, just real Christianity will bother a lot of people. Now, Foster did have a lot of second thoughts about Jesse, which he shared this past Sunday night. And he shared those from the heart, man. He wasn't there to knock anybody, but I think he was really, really genuine in what he said. So, and I think that upset a few people because, again, we're talking about cults of Christianity. When you talk about when somebody talks about your cult leader, boy, you got to jump out there and you got to support him. And I just wish people would take a step back. Like I said, I tried to explain this to people. I have a different look on this whole thing because I know these guys personally. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a whole different take on it. It's different for me than it is for a lot of people. And that's why I had to sit back, like you said, give me a few days to sort this out. And
Tony, I'm in a very similar boat. I was not as close to Jesse as you are, but I had his personal cell phone. I still do. I've given him advice. I talked to him for like 40 minutes just a few months ago on the phone, almost an hour, explaining to him the Orlando area because he wants to move here. You know, which different little cities, the suburbs, you know, whatever, downtown, where I do my events, why I do them there, like I've done events here for 16 years. Like there's a reason that, you know, Orlando is the convention capital of the world. I've worked with Bond. They paid me thousands and thousands of dollars. I've paid thousands and thousands of dollars in compensation to buy Jesse first-class flights, hotel, you know, all kinds of shit, right? Flights for his assistant, like lots of stuff, you know. And I didn't have any business relationship problems with them, right? There's nothing there. There was never been any problems. And that's typically the case with every speaker, right? It's simple. They speak, I buy them a flight, hotel, kind of done. But this was someone that I know, and that's part of why I'm so angry. It's not that there's a couple layers, like probably a lot, like there's 5 to 10 layers of lies that he's been telling.
Let's just say this right out. Let's just say this right out front. This is not a bashing of homosexuals. This is not what it's about. It's about somebody being congruent with their message. Okay.
Yeah, it's about fraud.
I don't believe in homosexuality, but this is not a stream, or we're not talking about if homosexuality is right or wrong. I believe it's wrong. That's what I believe. Okay. This is not a homo bashing stream. Has nothing to do with that. This is about congruency, a message. This is about preaching against it, and then you're doing it. That's the part. That's the part that bothers me the most.
Well, I'm in the same boat. You know, we know Jack Donovan, and as far as I know, he's still gay or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And not only do I not have a problem with that, he's one of the most masculine dudes that I know.
Mm-hmm.
Say of that, and, you know, criticize or comment of that what you will, but I'm serious, and I've talked to you about that, Tony.
Yeah.
Jack Donovan is a stand-up dude. He's a good man, and he's good at being a man, as he probably would put it. And he's worked hard for that. And he has courage, and he has strength, and he has integrity. And he has a lot, you know, in spades of masculinity compared to someone like Jesse Lee Peterson, who, in my opinion, is a not just my opinion, my judgment, is a parasite, a vampire, and an effeminate weasel, to put in a snake, and just total blood-sucking parasite. No honor. We're not talking. I haven't heard people talk about that quite yet. I did mention it in my newsletter pretty clearly, though. Jesse Lee Peterson is unmanly in a Jack Donavanian sense in the tactical virtues. He has no honor. He has no integrity. He's lied to. Dude, how many millions of people has Jesse lied to in public? For tens of millions, hundreds of millions, probably. I bet his channel, let's go look. I bet it has 100 million views.
The people that will accuse me and accuse you of saying something without evidence, blah, blah, blah. If you've ever watched Jesse's show, he does that every single day.
Yeah.
Many, many times.
I mean, it's with fraud comes hypocrisy. All these people are hypocrites. They don't want to think for themselves. Oh, Jesse told me to think for myself, so I'm going to think whatever Jesse told me. I mean, these people are dumb. Dumb. Low IQ, average IQ at best. In this Kevin Samuels sense. Mm-hmm. And they're stupid. And that's why Jesse preys on someone. Now, some of them are not stupid. They're just broken. And Jesse is actually preying on, you know, hurt, wounded men. And dude, I don't even want to mock that, because I had a really bad, really rough fucking childhood. A lot of violence and a lot of alcoholism and other drugs and cocaine and steroids. Like, my childhood was fucking wild. Okay. I have empathy for people who have been through real shit, man. Like, I've had a gun on my head for a long time, as you know, Tony. Like, I've been through some shit in my life, man. I get it. But these people who are just these little butthurt weasels who don't want to face facts, no evidence. These people are stupid. They're not. Have you seen any attorneys come out and say there's no evidence here? Do you think a single law enforcement officer would watch this? I've talked to some who've seen it. You think they say there's no evidence here? This is a cut and dry case. You have 4 people. I guarantee you, all of them would go under oath. They would say this in a court setting, in front of a judge, and with a Bible in their hand. This is serious. This is not funny. This isn't some Marvel movie where, you know, like I said, Hillary Clinton or George Soros came in and set up some ultra elaborate conspiracy. Like, this is stupid. These people have been watching too many movies and don't live in the real world. They haven't been to court. They haven't dealt with judges and attorneys and shit. They're stupid. Maybe Michael has a more sympathetic response than me, but I don't. I'm on a warpath to just destroy all frauds, because they all need to be destroyed. Bullshitters. I hate people that lie to my face.
I want to welcome Michael Foster, man. Great to have you, man.
Hey, guys.
Hey, woman.
Yeah.
I was listening to you guys on the drive home. That's in comedy and at the stop signs.
Yeah. So, I mean, we talked about this, I mean, privately. I mean, I don't have any problem saying to you that we said, we know Anthony's going to go in hard on this one.
What did I say that offended people? I felt like my criticism of Peterson was restrained. Like,
and it was well stated and very restrained.
Yeah, I didn't say he did this for certain. I said this is a really credible testimony.
Yeah.
This doesn't look fake. I explained why I thought it looked credible. I've always said he's a heretic because he's a heretic. He denies the Trinity. He denies the bodily resurrection of Jesus. Like, these are well-known things.
Does that mean he's not a Christian in your eyes? Is that what heretic means?
Absolutely. Because so a heresy is a damning belief. So
Okay.
so there's beliefs that we can disagree about, that are, think of doctrine or beliefs as like concentric circles. There's like these bullseyes. Like, if you talk about this, you're talking about a different God. So one way to explain it is, let's say, hey, I know Carl, and you say, I know Carl too. But the Carl I know is 7 foot tall, and the one you know is 5 foot. Right? They're two different Carls. So when you start describing a God that has all these different attributes, we're not talking about the same God anymore. We're talking about like a different understanding. And so, and heretics can be nice people. I think I remember watching Peterson at 21 and at 22 actually. I had to follow him after he got those women all revved up, and he certainly seemed to enjoy it, really messing with them. And as I just kind of watched it, I just thought, like, I don't really care for this guy. I don't trust him in a lot of ways. But I didn't, I'm at 21. It's a forum with people that believe all sorts of different things. And
let me interrupt you just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have never, ever hesitated to tell me that since we met and you met Jesse. I will say that. You have never sugarcoated anything. You have told me that exact same thing. It was my choice to talk with him, to have him on the show. It was my choice to have him as a friend.
Yeah.
So I want you to know that. Like, you have said that to me the whole time.
Oh, well, look, I mean,
hang on, Michael, too.
Friends, we've all had people mislead us, right?
Yeah.
And we've all had people who say, well, I don't. And I think the problem we want, how can you build real masculinity without honesty, right? So take like people, I get more stuff about working with, it's kind of tangential, but working with Tanner Guzy than I do really anyone. And Tanner and I disagree on big issues. I'd call Tanner a heretic. He'd call me a heretic. But Tanner is straight up and honest. And so it allows us to actually talk and disagree and still be friendly, like legitimately friendly. His brother died and my brother died under very similar circumstances. We've texted back and forth a little bit about that. But I think the problem in the manosphere is that there's so many liars because it's profitable.
Bingo.
It is profitable to tell lies, and charlatans have been doing that for a long time. And it's hard for these men who in some way have been helped by these guys, legitimately helped in some way, to recognize that they were the sheep being fleeced. And I've learned that I kind of I don't say soft, but I know that if I lean on someone too hard, they're going to dig their heels in. And so I kind of like send out the flares and say, here's what I think. But what am I going to do? I'm going to twist someone's arm and
well, Michael, I want to give you credit. Your criticisms and a few others, not just you, but you were the biggest one. Your criticisms about Jesse and your hesitation with him is the reason I pulled back on him speaking at 22 again in 2021. And he was annoyed by that. He didn't like that. And he was kind of questioning me why, and I just kind of blew him off because I didn't really give a shit. But between him angering the women so much, it was different than like me making the woman mad, or I don't think you did, but Coach Greg and someone like that.
Coach Greg was reciprocal. That woman was stepping out, being disrespectful to Coach Greg, and he just laid the law down. And Greg, everyone knows Greg's a super chill. He's easy to get along with dude.
But what Jesse did was fundamentally different.
It was antagonistic, and I know that plays to some people. And I just thought, I'm here calling these women to repentance and to a better, a life more congruent with God. And I just thought, well, that's your thing, you know. But I did. To me, it seems like there's a real joy in antagonizing them. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he didn't forgive. He needs to forgive his mama.
that's what I hear. I hear that's a big deal. So
That dude has Jesse Lee must have the most severe mother issues, top 1% in the country by far. I mean, for him to be bitching about forgiving your mother for 30 years, and then he's secretly putting dicks in his mouth behind the scenes. I mean, the psychology writes itself, as I heard a great man once say a couple days ago. He clearly hasn't forgiven his mother. I don't know if he should or not, but clearly something happened there. I bet she figured out he was gay, her own son, and she didn't like it. And Jesse has been butthurt reeling from that and preying on men from it for 30-something years. Like, someone needs to write a book about this. Or a movie. We should make a movie about it. Like a Magnolia kind of thing, but with this gay pastor.
well, what I think I've been thinking about this a lot since I've kind of been involved in the manosphere. You know, at one point, I remember when I wasn't active in the ministry, when I took a year off, that me and my co-author, who I write a lot with, we were talking about maybe putting together a course or something. And the more I got into the manosphere, you know, I'm not anti-course, but it just seemed like everything everyone had to offer was for a cost. There's like always like some upsell.
Yeah.
And it started to really annoy me. And like I figured, like I just read a book. If they want to buy it, they buy it. But I'd watch YouTubers like CoffeeZilla and watch his take those business scammers. Well, those are always fun streams to watch, even if you don't agree with CoffeeZilla and other things. But to me, I just started to think, man, I feel like these guys are just repackaging things for money, right? To take advantage of these guys telling them the same stuff. And I decided that I don't do coaching anymore. I just won't do it because I don't want to charge for it. If you're in Batavia, come to my church. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And you get all the attention you want. I don't know if you're going to like it, but
And K Hopper, I'm going to tell you something. It's okay to disagree here, bro. We're okay with it. This is not the channel where you can't disagree. This is not an echo chamber.
Tony, I'm going to agree to disagree on your disagreement thing here. I don't like this guy. He's stupid.
Well, hang on here. What do I have? I got something here for you, just for that. Let me just do it.
Anyone has a disagreement with each other, you can agree to disagree.
There you go. My most hated saying. So,
is what's his name around? Gonzo? Is he here? He had me on a picture of a stream. What was that all about?
Yeah, but it's not personal, because what happens is that's the theme of tonight. Just remember, it's not personal. But so what you can do, Michael Foster, is you can talk shit about anybody, but as long as you say it's not personal at the end, it's okay. Just so you know.
That's a trick. It's like when you do mean text, but you put a smiley face at the end.
Yeah. Well, LOL.
Yeah. Hey, you look so fat. I think you're gonna die any moment. LOL. Smiley.
Let me put a comment out to you two and see what you guys think. And I think Michael will have a lot to say with it, and maybe Tony as well. I've dealt with a number of frauds since 2019 in the manosphere, basically, right? Not really outside of that. Occasionally I comment on my personal Twitter on other stuff, but mostly in the manosphere, that's what I've tried to focus on, where I have the biggest impact. When you take down a fraud or you begin doing like exposing them, open combat, evidence, like testimony, screenshots, like all kinds of stuff, there's basically a predictable pattern. And that's one of the reasons I've been even more aggressive than usual this time with taking down this fraud. But there's basically this pattern of grieving that, thousands or even millions of guys are going to go through. I would say thousands in this case of some, and to varying degrees. It's not millions in this case, but I don't know. It's just kind of hitting me that we're still at the beginning stages of that, but it is moving along. Every day that goes by with the Jesse stuff, you see people kind of like putting out different comments. You see more frequency of comments, this kind of comment, negative, positive, people reaching out to me behind the scenes, news people following me on Twitter and stuff that looks very like they're preparing something. I do think the Daily Beast is about to drop something on Jesse.
One of the things that when I finished my conversation with Samuel the other night, one of the things I did say him, probably the last thing I said, Samuel, I said, just so you know, this is not the end. This is just the beginning. So,
Yeah.
and you will have an army behind you.
Yeah.
So I want him to know that.
But the thrust of my thing is this: there's this pattern that these people that you go through. It's a social phenomenon. It's sociology of some sort. Michael, do you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, we see this happen. Church, Protestant pastors, Catholic priests. You see lots of religious leaders fall, get caught red-handed. It seems obvious, and people stand by them, right? You go back to Jimmy Swaggart back in the 80s, or Jim Baker. You can talk about guys like Ted Haggard, who was also like talking about how terrible of a sin homosexuality is, and having sex with gay prostitutes and doing drugs, right? And these guys get caught, and it's always shocking the number of people that want to believe that they were somehow tricked into it or set up. They create all different ways to kind of protect them. And I think the problem is that it's kind of masculinity or spirituality by proxy. So these leaders are kind of like avatars that they live through, like in a video game or whatever. And so they're like, when these guys fall, they fall with them, right? It's like they're fans. These people are their heroes, and those heroes, when they fall, they're going to stand by them as long as possible. In a lot of cases, or at least the type of person is, to protect themselves. They're an extension of themselves, and you just see that, and you're like, guys, if you watch Waco on Netflix, the miniseries that came out like 2 years ago. What's stirring about it is how normal the people were, and everyone thinks that what's his name, David Koresh, had total control and no one could leave. And the reality is, according to eyewitnesses, people could come and leave as they wanted, even during the shootout, like shortly before. And these people, you think, oh, they're all a bunch of idiots. Well, actually, many of them weren't, and they got pulled into it, and they went so deep in that they just couldn't see clearly anymore. And that happens in all different types of cults. It's where it's too painful. It's funny. It's too painful to take the red pill and see the world for what it is. And I think that's really hard if you're coming out of one lie, kind of this feministic worldview, and you're moving towards a less feministic worldview, and then to realize that you were duped again into something else. I think that would be very difficult for someone to deal with, and there's a reason that they're protecting themselves.
Yeah. That's well put. It's a lack of a sense of identity.
Yeah, everyone check out Michael Foster's book. It's Good to Be a Man. I know I got a link to it in the description of the video. Check it out.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, for me, I watched the report. It looks credible. The reactions to the report from them don't make it, to me, feel more credible. So,
they deleted the only thing Jesse said. They deleted off one sentence. They deleted it off YouTube.
Probably smart. That means you're trying to bury it for some whatever reason. I mean, bury it just because they don't want to deal with it and they want it to go away.
I clicked on that. Somebody had put it. When I clicked on it, it says clip not available.
Yeah, they deleted it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, so I don't know. I hope these guys find their way. And I was hoping I could talk to Gonzo. I got that text while I was asleep from you, Tony, and I didn't know if he was on here because I wanted to ask him some questions about that. So
yeah, your patience is infinitely greater than mine, Michael.
7 kids, man. 7
yeah,
kids.
There you go. It shows.
Yeah,
man. It shows.
Let's kind of go over, Anthony, what happened this morning on the Jesse Lee Peterson show.
Oh yeah, let's do that. So I watched.
I actually got to bounce, guys. I just want to stop in real quick and say hi. I'm sorry. It's just I have to bounce, but talk to you guys later. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. See-
If you want to
sign
jump
in.
back on, and we're still on. Come back on.
All right, we'll do. God bless.
Thanks. Yeah. So tell us about your experience on the Jesse Lee Peterson show this morning.
Sure thing. Great show. Big fan of the show, right? I watched Jesse Lee Peterson lie to his audience live, like right in front of my eyes in a way, even though I was on my computer recording it. The flagrant fucking lie. My girlfriend was Alyssa, was really, really fucking mad. The lie was it was so fucking blatant. It was so disgusting. It kind of made me sick to my stomach.
I mean,
So
I texted you. I texted you also. I'm like, hey, they're asking you to call back.
That's bullshit. They've been throwing people off the show for fuck knows how long, man.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I had my girlfriend call in, and I gave him. We had a plan. She tried yesterday, but she was just put on hold after talking with one of the producers, and the show ended up ending. She was on hold for like 20 minutes, and she couldn't get through basically because everybody talks for fucking 10 minutes at a time. But I was like, all right, don't worry about it, babe. Like, we'll call him back tomorrow. We'll call earlier. I was talking to you about this, Tony.
Yeah.
And I was gonna have her basically ask about the homosexuality. Jesse being a butt pirate, a booty bandit, as the Black Manosphere thing calls it. Booty bandit. Down low. So I had her call in. She gave them the sob story so they wouldn't block her. They talk to you. They grill you right now when you call in. They ask you like 5 questions, like a whole bunch of shit. And you talk and talk and talk. They're trying to make sure you're not a bullshitter, right? So I had her kind of prepare like a little story, oh, I had a bad Father's Day. I want to forgive my father, but I'm confused, blah, 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 shit like that. So they let her through, and she had to stay on hold for a while, like 30 minutes almost this time. But I was, she was just patient. You got to be on the phone. And then we have the recording on my Twitter. You can go hear it. The only mistake I made is I didn't record her in real life with a video camera. I was just recording the screen with Jesse, on YouTube. But so she called in. She talks to Jesse. She's talking to Jesse just for a little bit, maybe 30 seconds. Kind of similar to what she told the producer, of Father's Day, I want to forgive my daddy, but, you talk about it. So she's like, and she gets cut off at C. Remember, not what I'm saying, C. So she's like, Jesse, how can I forgive my father when you yourself are a cocksucking predator? So what they do is I thought that would get through, and then they'd cut her off, right? Because they don't want to hear that, because Jesse's...
They have a delay then now.
They have a delay like news. Like when I was in Piers Morgan, they had this like 5-second delay. So basically, Jesse has a delay button to cut off stuff like that. And then he starts bullshitting. He just hung up on her. I hear her upstairs on speakerphone. She starts yelling. She's like, are you fucking kidding me? Because he just hung up on her ass like that, man. And so they're like, oh, and then Jesse's on video. Oh, call back. And I had her use her middle name instead of her first name. And so she's like, oh, call back in the chat. Jesse Lee Peterson on YouTube. You can go look at it. Oh, call back, Ann. Call back, Annie. Everyone in the chat, oh, call back. Why did she hang up? Call back. The phone must have cut out. This was my jaw was on the floor, man. I'm like.
And now she did try to call back, correct?
5 fucking times, man. And she talked to the producer again. They started yelling at her, oh, you're a liar. You lied. She's like, Jesse is a homo. They just kept hanging up on her. She kept calling back. But it was all a scam. That's just how they kick people off the show that Jesse doesn't like. Or they say something he doesn't like. Or whatever the case is, right? That's not the first time they've done it.
Because I fell for it because I texted you. I was watching it live. Yeah. I said, they're saying to call back that the phone hung up.
It's a lie. He's like Rolo, man. Everything's a lie. And Donovan Sharp. Everything the dude says is a lie. If his lips are moving, he's lying. Jesse's the same way. Jesse is a fucking psychopath. I'm not playing, man. Like psychopathy checklist, hair checklist, DSM, cluster B. Jesse's a sick predator fuck, man. And watching him lie so smoothly like that, I was like, man, this dude is a practiced con artist. It made me. Alyssa was really fucking angry. I don't blame her. So we might try again. I might get another woman, on board to roast this cuck. But we'll be smarter next time about it. We'll be even better, stronger than ever to catch a predator on air. But yeah, it was just sick to watch him lie like that. I mean, all the fans ate it up too. They all believed it because they'd been conditioned to believe it. Because Jesse tells them, all thoughts are lies, blah, blah, blah. Satan is their daddy. Oh, she wicked. Oh, she bad. Jesse's unbelievable scam artist, man. And watching him lie, I mean, that's what I was saying earlier too. Like, this guy lied to my face and your face for years. Every time he was around you and he didn't tell you that he was a cocksucking predator, he lied to you. It's called lying by omission. He lied to all the people at 21, Everybody, man. All those guys on YouTube today, every other day of the week he does it. Lie, 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 lie. It's someone who doesn't even live in reality. It's someone who lives in fantasy world of, but very real also, putting dicks in their mouth. So that's what happened today. They can go check it out on my Twitter if they want to listen to the recording of my girlfriend getting hung up on. If you listen closely, you'll hear C at the end of it. Right when she gets to cock, she gets cut off.
Well, here's Nugget Man, and Nugget Man is a stern follower of Jesse. We had a disagreement a while ago, but I'm going to put his comment up. The clip you posted on Twitter 10 hours ago, you are describing now.
He's probably talking about another clip. I put out a couple clips on my Twitter.
Yeah.
Some of them are not from today. Some of them are ones I found when he was on someone else's show or something.
Yeah.
But no, it's on there. You'll see it. If you dig through the videos, click media, and you scroll down, you'll see it. It's pretty short. It's like a 30-second video. It's also on Jesse's channel unless they cut it off. I mean, it's possible they edited the video and removed it, but it's probably still up. It was about 11:30, I think, when it happened in the morning. So if you scroll the last half hour of his live stream today, you'll probably see it still live.
Yeah. And I'm going to say, man, I know it's tough for everybody, man. It's tough for me too. I'm still wrapping my head around it, but sometimes you got to accept things. Yeah. I did a show here, I think it was a week or so ago or 2 weeks ago, accepting things you can't control. I made it purposely not accepting things you can't change, but accepting things you can't control. And this something right now, this is really ties into this because I have to accept something that I have no control over. And I have no control over this situation.
I think, Tony, something we could say from a manosphere perspective is that most guys in the manosphere are not red pill, including the ones who think they are. And when they're confronted with a real red pill like this, right? Or Rolo being a doxer, or Donovan, wifing up a single mom and lying about it for 5 years, they can't handle it. They literally, just like in movies, right? You can't handle the truth. They can't. They cannot take a real red pill. They want fake ones off of YouTube and Patreon. Oh, I spent $5 on Patreon super chat or some shit. I'm red pill now, fresh and fit. I mean, it's really sad, man. There are some real red pill guys in the manosphere, some guys who really care about the truth and are willing to face it. But most of them, they can't, man. And it's hypocritical, which is what makes me make fun of it and mock it. Because, I'm red pill alpha male. Yeah, woman ain't shit. Feminism's gay, right? No, one simple red pill is a big one. I mean, this is a big old pill to swallow for sure. But if you want to call yourself red pill and you want to care about being a man and masculinity, you have to be willing to face the truth, including when it sucks. And it does suck in this case. I mean, I'm not overjoyed that this happened with Jesse. A week ago, I wouldn't have believed you. If you just told me on Thursday last week that Jesse is a lifelong homo cocksucking predator, I'd have been like, what are you fucking talking about? It sounds like nonsense. But I believe what's presented in front of my eyes, and I use common sense to determine that, hey, these people are not playing around, man. These people got manipulated, preyed on, and this dude has been a massive fraud for longer than I've been alive.
Yeah, this right here, the only problem I have with disavowing a man when accusations are made against such men seems like there's no due process, nor innocent till proven guilty allowed in the majority of the manosphere. I'm going to say that Anthony Johnson is probably the one that brings out the most evidence against anybody. Yeah. I mean, some of this stuff people just don't want to accept. I had talked with somebody here the other day, and he's a big content creator. And I told him, I said, I was there. I mean, I was there when the New York Times reporter came to the cigar bar. I was there. I mean, what else can I tell you? I saw it with my own eyes. I mean, I don't know what else to say,
Another thing to point out here is the amount of feminism, even in manosphere guys and other guys like Sticks and Hammer right now is bitching.
This is what I'm talking about now about cults. There's zero evidence of the allegations yet, as far as I'm aware. Well, Nugget Man, like I said, I had a conversation with Samuel. Samuel was just on here. I can show you his thing. He'll go under. He'd take a lie detector test, and trust me, when it gets legal, let me ask you a question. When it does come out, are you going to be okay with it?
They're not. They'll make up more excuses, just like Donovan and Rollo. The fans of them, right? Oh, so what? Donovan wifed up a single mom. I still like his message. They always have an excuse because they're not like real. They're more like NPCs. Like they're not even real people because they always have an excuse. They're stuck on like autopilot. They can't think for themselves. They're not even. I barely consider some of these guys men. Gonzo and Primal Man, the two, Tweedledum and Tweedledee or whatever the fuck, Dumb and Dumber. I mean, these guys are the epitome. I'm not even here to pick on them. Like it's they represent a lot of guys who are just that fucking dumb, and they don't want to. They just can't accept evidence and basic facts of reality like that. There's no attorney who would look at this and be like, "Oh, 4 guys on video, putting themselves at liability for hundreds of thousands of dollars of defamation charges." This is not how real life works, man. Like these people they don't even use common sense. Like it's just stupid, man. Also, here's the thing that I was getting at. There is a lot of feminism affects men in ways they don't realize, including guys in the manosphere who hate feminism, supposedly. They don't want to believe male abuse victims. They are physically repugnant by this. They don't even, how could a grown man let Jesse touch his dick? Any man would beat him up, right? Blah, blah, blah. No, this is not, they don't want to believe an abuse victim like Johnny Depp. Amber Heard told Johnny Depp, go ahead and bitch that a woman abused you. No one will believe you. That wasn't because she was a woman. It's because he's a man. No one believes male abuse victims.
Other man, you're lying because I was there on that show. I was the one that brought Samuel to that, and he did. He gave the whole story, but you guys piled on him because you just can't listen to anybody. The only idea is to believe Jesse. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the only idea.
Who's not even saying anything right now, by the way. Yeah. Let's point that out. Jesse didn't come out and do some big video and put out a formal statement on behalf of Bond and hired an attorney and a law firm. This is false. These allegations are fake news.
And just so you guys know, you can click the StreamYard link and come on. I mean, you can come on and talk. Don't.
But hang on, Tony. Let me finish this point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jesse Lee Peterson hasn't even denied the allegations yet. That's how stupid these people are. There's not even a counter truth to believe. This is how fucking dumb they are. These are serious testimonies on video. This could easily go to court. Jesse maybe could go to jail or some shit. He hasn't even said, I didn't do it. He didn't even deny it. That's how fucking dumb these people are, man. There's not even a counter opposition to it. It's not Jesse said this and they said that. It's they came to a right-wing Catholic organization. They went on video, on video record, and are willing to testify under oath to this shit. And they're like, well, no evidence. I don't believe it. It's not the truth. Jesse, I believe Jesse. What do you believe from Jesse? He didn't even fucking deny it. You people are living, denial is more than a river in Africa. It's a river in your fucking head. These people are dumber than fucking shit, man. I just have no patience for them most of the time, especially if I don't know them, right? Michael Foster can have the patience with these guys. There needs to be good cop, bad cop, and I'm the bad cop here. I don't have any fucking patience with these people. They're stupid. They're stupid, ignorant, dumb, weak, beta, fucking dummies, and it's their own fault.
Right here, Nugget Man, you're saying you're calling in this statement, you're calling Samuel a liar.
Yeah.
You are calling Samuel a liar.
This Nugget Man guy is just some anonymous retard. Bro,
no, he's in Jesse's chat every day, and that's why I got out of the Discord and all that crap, just because I just got tired of the
But let me put this in perspective. Jesse is not Nugget Man. Jesse is a public figure, right? He has 2 big YouTube channels. He has radio. He's done, tons of interviews with politicians and all kinds of shit, right, over the years. He's not some random ass nobody. Now, he's not Donald Trump, but he's not a fucking nobody. These are serious allegations. You can't just laugh it off. If half a dozen guys go on video with CNN tomorrow and accuse Ron DeSantis of being a pedophile, you can bet there's going to be legal action immediately in a statement. Politician, celebrity, public figure, businessman. The CEO of Publix, Tony, wouldn't take this shit. Anybody with a serious following on the internet or in business would take it very seriously. Yeah, very quickly.
I agree with you. I'd be like, take me to court or move along. I agree. Again, this is just the beginning, dude. So sit back and enjoy.
This guy is a dumb simp.
Sit back and enjoy the show.
Oh, so what? That Donovan Sharp wifed up a single mom and lied about it for 5 years. He's still right that single moms are trash. Grrr. These
Yeah.
people are like out of a comedy sketch, man, like some mid '90s Saturday Night Live sketch. Like they're retarded.
I've got the link pinned to the top of the chat. So if anybody wants to come on and talk about it, man, feel free. You know, again, we can disagree here, and that's okay.
They don't want to talk about it because they're scared, because they're pussies.
I'd prefer if you came on and talked, and because a lot of times what happens is in the chat, you know, it's just like sending a text message. You know, I could send you GFY, you know, and you could think it would say go fuck yourself, but I meant good for you. So in these chats, a lot of times you don't get the right. You're not explaining what you're saying. It's not like saying it in words. Okay, so that's why I clicked the link. If you want to jump on, click the link, and so feel free.
I'm going to stay on, Tony, for as long as I can. My phone's running out of battery. I'm trying to charge it as we talk.
Yeah, no problem.
It's on 3%. I'm trying to keep it alive. No, this is just all this Me Too. These are all logical fallacies these guys use. We're not believing women. I'm looking at men making real allegations on video. Yeah, these people are stupid. And also, these people have nothing to lose, dude. I lost a lot of money by doing this with Jesse.
Nugget man, I know you're not disrespecting anybody, and I do appreciate your comments, bro. That's cool. I mean, again, I don't think you're disrespecting. You're allowed to say what you want to say here, dude. That's fine.
Tony, you pointed out, though, that when I booted Jesse out, just like other speakers, Rich Cooper, Rolo, whoever, right? Donovan even, right? Jesse Lee Peterson, let me put this on record. I have the email receipts I can show. Jesse Lee Peterson asked me and requested me to film his event again this year with 21 Studios. Thousands and thousands of dollars I could have made. I turned it down months ago. Now I could have, come back on it any time, but this was on the table this year. And, Jesse's selling tickets to my event and stuff. These people just have these dumbass opinions out of nowhere, conspiracy theory shit, right? You're not looking at losing $10,000, $15,000 for booting Jesse out of your company and your event. You had nothing on the line. I had a lot on the line. Is $20,000 a lot of money to you, Tony? It's a lot of money to me.
Yeah.
It's not 2 million, but it's 20 grand. And these fucking idiots are going to go fucking shoot their mouth off anonymously behind some stupid cartoon or something on the internet. They're retards, man. I had real money on the line and real consequences. I could lose speakers for this, other business relationships. I could have attendees file chargebacks who get mad at me for taking an uncompromising stance on this and going to war immediately when I know it's 100% true. These people just have no skin in the game. No skin in the game, no balls. They just talk shit to their digital fucking daddy. It's this one more cult leader grooming his fucking cultist, and nobody wants to hear it when you throw it in their face. Right in front of their eyes.
I'm just reading some of the comments here, man.
Yeah. Dude, you could have Jesse give a video testimonial tomorrow about how much he loves dicks in his mouth. These guys would still make excuses. Oh, well, Jesse admitted it. Now he's truthful. See, now he's coming back to Jesus now. And I still agree with his message, even though he lied to me for 10 years. Like, these people don't have common sense, man. These are people who get mugged and like swindled and shit on the side of the road. Like,
I've got somebody backstage, James. James, for some reason, your camera's not working. I kind of got you, but I don't. I see it backstage. It's just kind of blank. It doesn't have anything. It has devices not connected. I can't even bring you on right now. I can try. So hang on. I'm gonna
shield it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put up a shield here real quick, just because. I don't know if I can bring you on, but I'm gonna try.
He might have a bad connection. Stream might be StreamYard.
James? Yeah, you have a bad connection. It's just white in the back. Normally I can see something. I'm just gonna remove you and wait until your camera pops up. Maybe try to come back in. So
yeah. So by the way, this Saturday I'm doing a big interview, Tony. I don't think I told you yet. I'm interviewing the creator of the documentary, the face of it anyway. That guy. He says homo predator and shit in it, the main guy. So I'm going to get to talk to him on Saturday on the Redman group and ask him how the documentary was produced, what kind of led up to it, the editing process, his thoughts on it, his own personal opinions. It's going to be an exclusive interview, very exclusive, exclusively exclusive. So that's me, something coming up.
I like Nugget Man. He's kind of funny. He goes in pretty hard, and I'll give him a lot of credit for that. So I like reading his comments.
Yeah, good for him, man. No, I'm awfully good faith. When I see people I know in real life, you know, friends of my friends and people who are my customers and go to my events, when they accuse one of my speakers of being a sexual predator, I take it seriously. This is a business I run, as well as being like a leader in the manosphere and stuff. This is not funny. This is not, oh, well, I don't believe any of it because Jesse says homos are gay and feminism's bad. These people have what DDJ calls a red pill blind spot. You know, Jesse says all the right things like a politician. He panders to these guys and they believe it, right? So then when you get this serious shit that comes out, they just don't want to believe it, man. It's a blind spot. That's how they get played. That's how they got manipulated. If you've ever given Jesse Lee Peterson $1 in your life, you got played. He preyed on you. He lied to you like a politician. He wanted your money like a politician wants your vote.
I've super chatted a lot to Jesse over the past couple of years.
He stole from you by lying to you. He stole from you. If you knew the truth about him, you would have never given him $1.
To be honest, right now, I had a hard time watching this morning. I really did. I could see, you know, I can see when it's like you could only comment now if you were subscribing for 5 days or longer.
I saw that.
Bond on Sunday, you could only comment if you were a member. It was members only.
Yep.
So to me, that's kind of oh, here's Primal Man. Look, no, it's just that nobody believes you. No, Primal Man, nobody believes you is more like it.
Yeah, this guy's a fucking dummy. The public is very split on this. I mean, there's a lot both ways. The video, by the way, let me blow Primal Man's asshole out of the water on this. Now I have access and I can screenshot it. The video is mostly positive likes. It's like 60-40, so it's controversial, but it's still net positive. It's not even 50-50. It's like 60-40. So this bullshit about nobody believes, you know, a lot of people believe it. People that like Jesse, people that didn't like Jesse. There's a variety of people. And by the way, there's people who didn't like Jesse who still don't believe it because there's fucking dummies or whatever. But the idea that they don't is just stupid, bro. You have a bias for it. You have Jesse's dick in your mouth, just like he puts other men's dicks in his mouth. He'd probably put your dick in his mouth, Primal Man. And you're too dumb to take it out of your mouth. Just like all the Rolo puppets put Rolo's dick in his mouth. And the Donovan puppets put Donovan's dick in their mouth, right? And Jesse now is scared. Your cult leader is scared shitless of me. Guaranteed. Scared fucking shitless. He fucked with the wrong white boy. And now he fucked up big time. I've taken Donovan Sharp's Patreon down 60% in a year. What do you think is going to happen to Jesse? Do you know what's going to happen when this hits fucking front page news on Fox News and shit? Believe me, it's going to happen. I'm pushing for it, bro. Everybody's going to hear about this. This man is a sick predator. He needs to be exposed. He needs to go bankrupt. That's what he deserves. Every dollar he's taken, he's stolen from people.
Let me respond to this. Hey, Hopper, it's not personal. Primal Man, it's not personal. Nugget Man, it's not personal. Because when you say it's not personal, it's okay. You know that right now. This is what I've noticed. If you can say it's not personal, that's cool. So yeah, tonight's theme is it's not personal. So
yeah, you know what it's like? It's like football, like a pump fake.
Yeah.
When you want to fake someone out, you know, they pump right one way and then run the other. It's the same thing. Oh, let me attack you. Remember when Donovan attacked me? Oh, I'm not attacking Anthony's credibility, but he's an unethical piece of shit and blah 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 blah. I mean, it's even John Bulldog. Remember that? I called him on that. Like, you got to be kidding me. That sounds exactly like you're just trying to attack them, but you know you're bullshitting about it. It's gaslighting. I don't really mean to attack you personally. It's not personal, but you're personally a piece of shit. It's not personal. Yeah, these people are all just fucking losers.
The gaslighting is unbelievable. So is the straw man arguments. What I've noticed quite a bit.
Yeah,
he's using a totally different scenario to explain this. And
I've seen people.
That's part of the cult mentality. We're going to make up something that we can compare this to. And to be honest, there's nothing you can compare this to. And the same people who were saying that, I remember a stream where they had Jimmy Swaggart on and I forget, and was making fun of all these guys. But now because it's Jesse, geez, don't say anything.
Yeah.
Because it's a cult mentality. And again, I've had more invested in this than anybody who's probably in this chat. Probably not more than you, but I had a lot of, when I say invested, I had a personal friendship invested in this. So this is exactly easy for me to talk about. You know? It's not an easy thing to do. But as men, if we can't talk about this, and if we can't, we can call each other names. But remember, it's not personal. So
Yeah, I think the difference is too, like you, Tony, like I would say every word of what I'm saying now to anybody in this chat, anybody watching, including a Jesse's face. Jesse, I think, has been scared of me for a while. That was kind of my personal theory I had. Because I would see him interview like John Anthony and Coach Greg, and I'm like, why doesn't he want to? He's asked me some questions on stage at his event, but he was very like tepid about it. And I think he got kind of spooked by me. Like he was kind of uncertain about me, like what I would say to him if I could fuck with him. And yeah, he should be scared of me. I mean, they should all be scared of me. They're going to get exposed.
Everybody can do their response videos to the 2 viewers that you have watching.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I have no issue with that.
Yeah.
I and your echo chamber will echo at that point. So go, I like to have an open conversation. Like I said, I got the link right there, boyo. So anybody wants to come on and talk, just come on and get it out. Don't be afraid.
They don't want to talk. They want their egos and their dicks sucked. Egos smoothed out, ego soothing, and their dicks sucked. Like they just don't want to believe it. They want someone to have a magic wand and make Jesse be the real Jesse Lee, the savage Jesse Lee, who's been celibate for 30, 40 years. Oh, really? This guy hasn't busted a single nut in 30, 40 years, right? He's not married, not engaged, right? Not having sex out of wedlock. Do these idiots really think this dude has not had sex in 30, 40 fucking years? He's just some sinless monk. That's how stupid these people are, man. The more I think about that, actually, too, that aspect, that's something no one's actually talked about yet. It's a big deal. Jesse, in his own words, is supposed to be celibate, right? For 30, 40 years more.
Dude, this is Joshua, you nailed it right here. It ain't personal. I love Gonzo and Primal, too. If they want to see due process play out before casting judgment, that's more than fair. But I can't defend JLP whatsoever. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's,
I'm much more aggressive about it. It takes moral agency and moral courage to come to a serious conclusion and have certainty about it. Not everything's going to go to court. This isn't like CSI Miami or something. This isn't, whatever this, SVU, Special Victims Unit shit. This is real life. And there's no guarantee this is going to end up going to a court. It'd be useful if it did, right? Maybe it damn well will. It probably should. Some of the victims should sue Jesse.
Yeah. And just so you know, Gonzo, through email and text messages, and really nice formal messages, there was no response at all.
That's right. These people assume the worst of me because I have the most savage memes on the internet. I was very patient with Jesse on this issue. I did send Jesse Lee Peterson and Bond a formal, very polite email about this, requesting immediately a statement, or are they getting an attorney involved, or what? I waited 36 hours after I sent it, and I got a response back, a very brief response, confirming that they received it and Jesse was going to look at it, and nothing. Not only did I get nothing, we're now 4 days later beyond 36 hours, and still nothing. That's why I went to war. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This dude ain't saying shit. He ain't saying shit to me in private. He ain't lawyering up. He ain't putting out a statement. He ain't saying anything on video. This guy is running and hiding like a bitch. Jesse Lee Peterson is a hoe little fucking bitch snitch. Just like when Gonzo ran away when his wife was going to get her ass beat or something, and he abandoned his wife. That's Jesse Lee. Gonzo is a bitch just like Jesse Lee. That's why he keeps defending him with his fat fucking wife.
Well, there's your answer, Gonzo. And remember, it's not.
Hang on. What a pig! What a pig!
It's not personal. Don't take it personal, Gonzo.
Yeah, Gonzo, it's not personal. Your wife's a fucking pig.
Beluga whale. It's not personal. Just remember that. When you put the thumbnail up with Michael Foster, I think it was Jesse and Anthony Johnson. Remember, nobody took that personal. Okay. But like you said,
Totally.
it's not personal. So we'll keep saying that tonight.
Yep.
I understand that it's a caveat, whatever you want to call it. If you say that, okay, did you say that tonight? I'd like you to say that, Tony Johnson. Did you say that for me tonight? It's not personal.
Oh, it's not personal. No,
Yeah.
it's not personal.
Yeah.
It's not
Okay.
personal that I'm insulting Gonza's fat, disgusting Miss Piggy beluga whale wife.
Oh,
It's
here
not
we go.
personal.
Did you call him? Did you have his number?
I texted him. Yeah, it just had delivered too. He has an iPhone, so I texted him and I emailed him, and I got an email and text confirmation that it was going to be sent immediately to Jesse by email. And then I texted him too, multiple times now. Nothing. He's a coward. I could call him, but what's the point? He's not responding to texts. He's not responding to emails. Why would I talk to him anyway? If anything he says to me, I want in writing. I want an email. I want a text. I'm not going to, when you get on the phone, I can't record that shit in Florida. That's not how the law works. You can go to jail for that. So yeah, this is all just, these people, man, it's Marvel movie kids. Oh, if you didn't call him, then George Soros set up a $4 million, $4 million, pallets of brick scheme to fucking take down Jesse Lee, because Jesse Lee's, shadow banned YouTube channel was a threat to the establishment. These people are fucking dumb, bro. Like, that's the thing too, is like Jesse is very heavily, credit where credit's due. He is shadow banned pretty heavily on YouTube. He's fully demonetized too, as of about a year ago. That happened to my channel too, but we were able to get it back after an appeal. Jesse has been neutered on the internet for a while. Like, he's not making some big waves to take down the feminism and the liberals and the whatever, right? The LGBTQ army, right? These people are living in fucking fantasy land. Like, it's pathetic, man. In a way, I think I'm doing it too because they need it. Like, Gonzo needs sand kicked in his fucking face. That's why I'm talking to him like this on your channel, Tony. Because these guys are little boys that don't have a father. And they don't know how to father themselves either, and they refuse to even when they get, advice from the manosphere or something. They don't want to hear it, whether it's from Michael Foster or anyone else in the manosphere or something. Yeah, they need to get a lot of sand kicked in their face, old school,
Well, I had a conversation with somebody today, and I had said, sometimes you got to help lead these guys into manhood. I mean, it's just what other men should do for young men is lead them into manhood, like, help them along.
You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But you can throw it in. You can throw the horse in. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Just so you don't want to drink, you're going right in, fucker.
Again, you guys, the link is in the chat. It's pinned to the chat. So if you want to come on, I'm not going to be on much longer here tonight, but if anybody wants to come on, I'm going to wait about another 10, 15 minutes, and we'll start wrapping it up.
Yeah, my phone's at 2% now, man. I tried charging it before. That's why I got on late, like last minute. I'm trying to charge it.
So, you guys, if you want to talk to Anthony or say something live, I appreciate if you come on now. So I don't care who it is. James, I know you tried to come on. So
let me say this, Tony. I know it's not personal tonight, right?
Yeah,
but I will be ready to accept an apology from all these guys personally, each one of them. It's not personal, but I'll take a personal apology. And they owe me one, and they owe you one too. Yeah, and Samuel, they owe Samuel an apology too. Let's call that out. In fact, all the victims. For when they don't have to believe every fucking word these guys said. In fact, it's possible that not literally every word of the documentary was accurate or something, right? Some of these people are trying to remember vivid memories that are painful and traumatic. These are abuse victims, right? So it is what it is, right? But there's no way that every word of it's a lie. That's where the delusion is with these guys, right? And they don't have to. There's a difference between believing every word of it and taking it seriously. And that's the kind of thing that you're seeing with these elaborate conspiracies. I don't believe it. Jesse's amazing. I love him. He would never put a bunch of dicks in his mouth. Blah, 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 blah. They're not even, it's not that they don't believe it. It's that they don't take it seriously. And that to me is what's so pathetic. They don't take Samuel seriously when they definitely should. They don't take Patrick Rooney, I think I'm saying his name right, that guy seriously when he says he had gay sex with Jesse for 10 fucking years. You don't take that seriously? Like, whoa. That's really serious. This guy's not playing. He's not saying he just got fucked in a bathroom on a one-night stand at a bar with Jesse in some gay LA nightclub, right? He's talking about a decade-long relationship, longer than a two-term presidential administration. That's how long that went on for. These people that are just living these little, they live in like little cartoon lands in their head, man. So anyway, I'll take an apology from each one of these cocksuckers.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the. Yeah, I know that's what Jesse told you, Gonzo. I get that. That's why I'm patient with you.
That's just a Jesse quote. Dude, this guy's like a robot, bro.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Yeah. So hashtag believe anything.
No, believe evidence and take testimony and take, predatory accusations seriously, especially from people you know, from people who have nothing to gain. What are they to gain? Again, Hillary Clinton came out of nowhere and is greasing these people paper bags and suitcases full of money. Like, what the fuck are they talking about? These men are pathetic. That's why they won't come on your show, Tony. They're scared of me. Look at this, Gonzo. Men too. Believe all men. Jesse's my daddy. You don't need a father when you have the father. I love Jesse. These people are pathetic, man. Pathetic. Beta males. Total fucking beta males. They need to repent for their simping. Bunch of fucking simp beta males, man. Beta male. Isn't that right? Beta male. Who's beta male? Who's a beta male?
Okay, we'll address this comment. We'll address this comment real quick. So yeah, if somebody accused Anthony of that, you could bet he have a lawyer or statement, and I'm going to say it would be probably wrapped up pretty quick.
Yeah, real quick, like 24, 48 hours quick.
Mm-hmm.
Bond is a real nonprofit, man. They have I don't know how many employees, but they have real W-2 employees. They have all kinds of volunteers and interns and buildings and shit and assets and money. The idea that he wouldn't lawyer up for something like this immediately is stupid. You think Larry Elder, most of your fans probably know who that is, right? He's another radio host, kind of like Jesse.
You got Beavis. I'm not sure if he's Beavis or Butthead, but Beavis has a comment here. So, and these guys speak in codes, just so you know, too. That's why two people watch, because if you don't know the codes,
yeah,
you have to know the code.
Primal's I think Primal's kind of like, inbred or something, man. This boy extra dumb. I think he's dumber than Gonzo. Yeah, it's every time he talks, whenever Primal Cock talks, I feel like I get dumber. I'm like, oh man, I listened to this guy for 30 seconds. My IQ just dropped by a couple points. Yeah, that boy's real dumb.
It's not personal though, Primal. Don't take it
personal.
personal.
No. Yeah, it's not personal. Correct. My mistake.
Personal.
Yeah. I like how that guy earlier said, Anthony, you're never going to get anywhere calling people stupid and idiots and pussies. Oh, really? Because I'm coming up pretty close on 400,000 fucking subscribers just on my main channel. I've been all over the fucking news, the New York Times, the New York Post, all over this fucking shit, right? Oh, you've only had 100 million people watch your videos. You're not going to get anywhere. You've only been in business for 16 years. These people are stupid. I love making fun of them, though. It's actually a lot of fun.
I'm just curious about Nugget Man, if this was his wife that was accused of somebody was accusing, his wife was accusing people of doing something to his wife or to his brother, would he feel the same exact way about it's got to be legal? It has to be legal. Yeah.
All Jesse has to do is put out, one paragraph statement from Bond. Hey, I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. I'm the founder of Bond. These are serious allegations. I deny them completely. If they have a problem, they can, hire an attorney and sue me. The end. It's all fake news. And have a great day. See you on my show. No, they won't. He won't even. He literally hasn't done that. Have these guys even stopped to ask themselves, why is that? Why wouldn't Jesse even deny this? They're locking down his channels. They're blocking people like me on Twitter. They're locking down the Bond channel to paid members only. All of a sudden, you think they're not watching this like hawks? They're terrified. Jesse Lee Peterson is shitting bricks right now. He's scared. I know you know that, Tony. You've seen it. You know this man way better than I do. Even I can see it. He's scared because he's a bitch and he's a hoe.
Nugget, man, you know what I said. I was making a scenario, dude. I'm not talking about your wife. It's not personal, okay? I was saying, would you believe would you, like if your wife told you something like this, would you just say, I got to wait till due process? No, you look at a shotgun, bro. Give me a break, okay?
Yep.
There would be no due process. That's what I'm saying. Has nothing to do with your wife.
These people are coping. They want like a blood semen sample out of Jesse's own fucking like car of all 4 accusers, and they want it like studied by the C.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying right there, Nugget, man. Yeah, exactly. Anthony attacks Gonzo. It's not personal. It's not personal. Don't take it personal. Jesus. Come on. It's okay. I want to make sure this is Woody Johnson.
It's me, Tony. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you good, man. How are you?
All right. How are you today, Tony?
I guess we lost Anthony. Maybe he'll jump back on.
Yeah, he was running out of juice for the phone. I'm thinking that I'm not discrediting anybody over here, but I'm thinking I don't know if Jesse's waiting, to respond or giving it some time. That's what I'm thinking, because the logical thing would be to make a statement and put it out there. So.
It seems. I mean, in my notes here, I said, I even tweeted it out today, like, it was a fairly reasonable tweet. So, I mean, it really was. It was a reasonable tweet. Like, just we want some answers. Like, address this publicly. I don't think that's,
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's too much to ask of people that have supported him. Is not to brush it underneath the table. Like, make a public statement. That's okay. Like, something. I'd rather you say I didn't do it rather than say
Right.
no.
No, I agree, because I mean, it's definitely not easy taking all this in, and Jesse's been around for a while, so it's acquired a lot of following, a lot of sources, and so yeah, I mean, that is the weird part, but I'm thinking that if he's waiting for this to get big enough, or he's just not, and yes, there's been few suspicious events, such as his account liking one of those posts, and then I think it just account went offline or something happened,
Mhm.
so that's just the thing to me. But I think he should definitely make a public statement.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just reading the comments. So
You sure this is not personal, Tony?
no.
It's,
Yeah, I
hey,
understand, Primal, you're being sarcastic. It wasn't to get to the bottom of it. That's not the point, This isn't an echo chamber, And I have more than 2 people watching tonight, so we had to actually talk about something here.
I wish Gonzo and Primal would jump on, or if Anthony came back on, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm just reading the comments. That's all. So, yeah, Vamp Smith says, yeah, he's at least got to address it. I think so too. I don't think that's unreasonable. I really don't. I don't think that's unreasonable. At least say something, I think you owe that. You owe that, Jesse, to people. People can say, oh, no, because I get it. They don't want their cult to fall. I get it.
You think this is going to go to the courts, and further, maybe not from Jesse, but from the accuser side, or what do you think is going to happen in case Jesse doesn't address this?
Let me address this, Reiko. I spoke to Samuel in depth for about 40 minutes. And again, like I said, when you speak to somebody in confidence, I know other people have brought up things that I've said in confidence. And so if we want to really go there, I can go there. I prefer not to, but if we want to go there, we can go there. I have no issue with it. Again, I'm pretty fucking transparent compared to a lot of people. So, but let me bring Guns in. Hey, Guns.
What's up, fellas?
It is you, right?
How are
It's
you,
me.
Gun?
All right. Making sure. I know how people, they're pretty slick, man. They could actually fake out your,
Oh yeah.
we already had one penis backstage.
Really?
And I already banned it. Yeah, I banned it a long time
Oh
ago.
yeah, with somebody.
I couldn't even call it a penis.
It was a pimple.
Well, a pimple or an acorn, maybe. I'd have to call it that. What's amazing is that these guys show their dicks backstage, and it's like, it's I think they do it because it's really not something to be proud of. I'm just saying, I know this isn't a dick measuring contest, but I could tell you nobody wins when they show their dick back here. So nobody wins. We don't have any winners. So
yeah, the trolls got a troll.
Yeah, absolutely. So
When it's dark outside, all the trolls come out, Tony.
yeah, let me Tuesday. He says, I think they just get off showing it to somebody. Oh God, that's funny. So
Somebody look at it, please.
yeah.
God, I don't want to say that.
Look at it, please. So, but yeah, we're not going to go that much longer tonight. But if anybody, Guns, you got any take on tonight?
I got no. Yeah, nothing's changed my original statement. I hope that I hope that these men get the legal counsel they need. They alert law enforcement, and whatever happens. It is very. I will say, I do like. I'm with everybody else, and it pains me to say this. Because again, I spoke on the other show. You really want to see the best in people, and it pains me to say I'm forced. I'm forced to say, things that I don't want to say, but I have to say it because I have no alternative. But if that no statement has been made on one side or the other, that looks kind of strange, and it's this whole thing is unfortunate. I really hope the whole thing gets resolved, no matter what the outcome is, that it can get resolved and everybody walks away with what they were looking to walk away with.
You guys do notice my avatar, it's Two-Faced Jesse tonight. It's half me, it's Tony Lee Peterson. So
yeah, I'm glad. I thought when you put that out, I thought you were going to do the deep fake video.
No, but I just again, like I said earlier, it wasn't like, I didn't like Jesse. I love Jesse. Jesse was I like to still say he is a friend of mine, but I don't, I haven't reached out to him yet. I guess eventually I will. I reached out to him on Twitter, publicly, and I think that he should make a public statement. I think that's fair. I think that's fair because he is a public figure. It's not Tony Bruno. It's not Woody Johnson. It's not Uncle Guns. It's Jesse Lee Peterson that has been accused of these heinous things, we'll say. Again, he's not a car dealer. So some car dealer gets caught, whatever, or is accused of doing these things. It's no big deal. He'll go sell RVs. But it's not the same thing here. It's just not. And if anybody thinks it is, man, you're sadly mistaken. You really are. So, I think that when Samuel comes on live, whether it's going to be with me or Anthony Johnson, I think you guys will have a different viewpoint. For at this point, I have to keep what we talked about in private, but I think you'll get a better understanding. I think he did say some really cool things the other night on the stream where he was doing his best to explain it, even though he was getting piled on. And that's kind of the part that bothers me, is when somebody kind of giggles at him like a little girl, like giggles at his comments. And I think somebody had said, "Oh, that's a cute story." And the fact that we're starting this men too hashtag men too. That's pretty gay, man. It's pretty gay. It really is. And it's only because, but now if this was anybody else, there would be a pile on, guaranteed. If it was anybody else. But again, tonight was about the cults of Christianity. And I see cult mentality here. And you can't tell me you don't. This has nothing to do with due process. This has to do with a cult mentality. I get it. I get it when you invest so much in your whole ideology. Everything you spit out of your mouth is Jesse Lee Peterson. I get that. It's tough, But again, it's not personal. So, So anybody else is welcome to come on. What do you, Guns? You got?
I gotta hold on.
Yeah, Guns. Oh, we lost Guns.
Okay, I got a question. So, I was gonna ask Guns or anybody, I guess, who have experience in this cultish mentality or what happens. There has been several documentaries of people going as far as taking poison and etc. So I'm thinking if it's strong enough, to turn somebody who's, I don't even know if it's sexually speaking normal and to do acts like that. I'm just thinking. I'm trying to think of it as my perspective that I personally wouldn't do that, and I understand as time went on that how cults operate and what the cult personality is and how they acquire gatherers and strong believers in the leader. I'm just thinking but a lot of cults in the past they have demonstrated a strong acceptance of their leader, regardless of which way the leader is going.
Guns, is that you?
Yeah, it's me again. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Woody. I'm listening.
Well, what do you think about cult leadings and being manipulated enough to do acts such as this, or even taking your life away? There was I think a cult in China too that men castrated themselves because the leader said to do that. But what do you guys, I guess, think on that? That could they or are they that manipulated, the cult members?
Yeah, I think so, man. I think what people are looking for, it's when people are searching. Because this is, again, I'm going to say in my opinion, I'm not an expert. I think a lot of people on these streams need to say that in my opinion. Okay. And again, we're using, it's not personal tonight. It's not personal in my opinion. I think these are good things when doing a stream, when you're talking to people. In my opinion, I think that people are searching for something. And sometimes when they think they found it, most of the time when somebody's trying to sell you something that's so good, most of the time that's what it is. It's fake. It's phony. It's fugazi, If it's too good to be true, it usually is, I mean, does everybody get those emails? Everybody get those emails like I get? I'm just curious to where a girl will send you an email and she's in Saudi Arabia and her father is a prince and she has $10 million she needs to get rid of. And has everybody got those emails like I get?
Yeah, I'm so old. You might remember this, Tony, but I'm so old where I used to get the letters in the mail from the Nigerian prince. You remember that in the 90s before the internet?
And the whole thing is that they need $2,000 to get the ball rolling. Do you know what I mean? So anybody who gets those, trust me, just send the 2,000. I can't tell you how many 10 millions I've got. I've probably got, I don't know, 800 million in the bank right now from all these emails that I get. So,
Wait.
You just send $2,000, and what they do is she has to really, it's for her legal fees so she can release the money, and then she splits it with you. So so it's not a scam. It's not.
Wait, so you think I would get my Nigerian prince or would I not? I'm just wondering.
Princess.
Sorry, princess. I'm sorry, not prince.
That was
princess.
a little sus, Woody.
And mistake of mine. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a I don't know, you know, that it's very enticing. It's very attractive. You know, this millionaire princess, Nigerian princess. You know, I would be the next king of Nigeria. You know,
Yeah. You mean you're not?
I think I am. Yeah, I think I should definitely answer that email and send that $2,000. Give them my bank information. You know. So,
I think the point of this tonight too is to understand like different cult mentalities. Man, I know it's hard to believe that somebody fall. You know, I've mentioned this on a few streams. I think I've mentioned it probably in the past couple of months. Is like we all fall back. You know, we're human. We all fall back, whether we go to our blue pill ways, whether be with thinking about politics, or you go back to your blue pill simping ways with a woman thinking it's going to change and it doesn't. But we all fall back, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But if you fall back, just know that it's only for a short time. Like you got to move on, you know. And I get a lot of you guys are upset at Anthony, and that's fine. I don't have any issue with that. Anthony does Anthony, you know. There's no one that's gonna stop him. You set him in motion, and that's what you get. It's the way he is, you know. And there's, I respect him for that, for his hard driving. You know, he's one of the hardest working guys I know. It takes a lot to do what he does, you know, and I know he's not a Christian guy, but I'm not the guy to judge him. But we have a lot of people that do judge him. And, even, Jesse said many times, man, even in my interviews with him, 21 is the greatest event. So I don't know what you guys got to say about that. You know, he said it's great when men are searching. He's never been to a place like that. So you can bag on Anthony all you want, but he puts an incredible event together where guys can come and talk. And that's why I always talk about real world situations, man. Come out in the real world, boyos, and meet up with different people and talk about issues, talk about problems, the people in real life. It's different. Come and talk with Michael Foster. You could have came and talked with Jesse. You know, I spent a lot of time with him. You know, the other thing is, I don't know if you guys understand this. I put my life on the line for Jesse Lee Peterson, literally as an armed bodyguard for him. I'm not sure if everybody's aware of that. And I know you guys, oh, whatever, you can downplay it. But I actually, I was at the point where when I was with him at these conventions and in common areas, taking him to lunch, things like that, I mean, literally, I would have to take a bullet for this guy. Do you guys understand that? I mean, that's a pretty.
well, the
That's a
thing is that
thing.
I think you talked about that. I was aware of it, but I wasn't sure, you know, if it was speaking in public or on the stream, you know. So
Yeah. So again, having a personal relationship. If you guys think I'm happy about this or trying to sensationalize it, no. My whole point here is man, I want to hear from Jesse. I want to hear from him. I want something public, and I think that he owes that to people, to whether you want to call them his fans, his followers, just people that are, just need to know. So, but I got. Hang on a second here. I think Samuel might jump on in about 5 minutes. So, you guys, we might have some breaking news here. So, Guns, so what do you think about that when I say that, when I put my life on the line for this dude?
I've I was after I left the military, even when I was a military reservist, I was a contractor. I was a private security contractor for different companies, and I've been in that position. So I mean, it's a lot easier to do, and again, if you want to use the term merc, you can. Okay, I don't particularly care for it, but that's what we used to call in the 80s, the mercs. But whether you like the guy or not, you're getting paid. You're getting paid to do a job. Now, and two things I'll say. Number one, Tony wasn't getting any money to do any of this. Okay. or I don't know, I might be speaking out of turn, but as far as I know. But thing number two is that it's a lot easier to protect the guy if you have an interest in it. If you like the guy and you have a vested interest in keeping this person safe, like this, United States Secret Service, we all know, they love their job. That they take there's an immense amount of pride and professionalism in in doing that job. So I mean, it's again, it's difficult. I mean, I don't, as someone who has been in several cults, as someone who's been in several cults, I don't, I've never seen Jesse's show. I know very little about Jesse. I only know what you guys tell me, and of course, all before all this happened, I really didn't know who he was. Before I met you guys, I didn't really know who the guy was. So I mean, again, I hope everything turns out and everybody gets what they want.
Well, so everybody stay tuned. Samuel's coming on in about 5 minutes. So we'll get to talk to him. He can say, I think what he can say. How do I put this? He's going to speak. He's going to speak what he needs to say. So everybody stay tuned. Like, again, he said he's coming on in 5 minutes. Well, here he is right now. So let's bring on Samuel. Samuel, welcome.
Hey, what's going on, Tony?
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just getting off work. I've been listening to you guys.
So what do you think?
Like I said earlier, I really appreciate your support, and also Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't. It's been I think people have it mixed up, like the timeline of this. Man, I'm trying to get my camera the other way. I don't know how to do it. Maybe if I do this.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, this will work. So I think people are getting it mixed up a little bit, the timeline. So
Your voice is coming in pretty low.
oh man. Okay, well, you guys are just
If you want, you could go to the settings. If you press on the screen, you could go to the settings and change your camera view from back to front.
Or if you don't want to use a cam, that's fine too. That's up to you.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Woody Johnson. So yeah, so let me give you a quick rundown of the timeline of this, because I started, like I said on the interview, I went up on in May 2020, and briefly, the reason I went to bond is because I was like really, really depressed. I had a lot of depression, like to the point where like I would self-harm, not cut myself, but I don't even want to get into it. But anyways, then I discovered Jesse, and what he said first about forgiving your mother and real men are supposed to be not angry. I was like, oh man, I'm angry and I feel like a weak man, like my identity. I didn't really understand my identity. So as a young man, so as soon as Jesse opened back up, I went straight, to the service, live service, because I live in South Central, and his bond is like 15 minutes away from where I live. So first time I ever go there, I'm like, hey, hello, my name is Samuel. Thank you for your message. It really helped me a lot. I forgave my parents, I forgave my dad, I forgave my mom, and now like my life I'm growing, like I'm letting go of all the old stuff. And so I want to thank him. And then he also asked me, what do you do? I said I have my own auto detailing business. And at the time, it wasn't named Samuel Mexican Car Wash Boy. It was named SCLA Auto Detailing. So the reason I changed it to Samuel Mexican Car Wash Boy, a quick detour of the story, is because he started calling me that, because that's what he saved me on his number as. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just run with it. I mean, people know me as Samuel Mexican Car Wash Boy. It's me, it's my face, I'm the brand. Cool, I'll run with it. So then, anyways, that was a little detour. Anyways, at the end of the service, he promised me, hey, you could detail my truck. And I say, cool, man. Like, man, I'm gonna get to work on Jesse's truck. This is nuts right now. So we exchanged numbers, and then this is in private. Like, if I don't know if I assume you guys haven't been to the Bond Church, but it was in Orlando, where after everybody just talks to Jesse, talks amongst one another, you know, the breakdown of the service. And I go to him and I'm like, Jesse, another thing that's on me, I was abused when I was a boy, and that's really like, I don't know if I could let that go. And he's like, forgive and let go, just let it go. All thoughts are lies, past doesn't exist. I'm like, you know what, that makes sense. So then I was like, okay, cool. I would not pay much attention to the thoughts telling me about that stuff, you know? So I was growing. This was in May 2020. And I met Tony and Anthony at the 21 convention in October 2020, because that's when Jesse, out of nowhere, and mind you, like, to me, I consider myself still like a newbie, you know, like not even a year of knowing Jesse. He invites me, all expenses paid, to 21 Studios convention. I didn't even know who they were, honestly. But I went because I was like, man, I get to represent Jesse, like be like Jesse's bodyguard and just like a ambassador for Bond, because I was like, man, I've been helped so much. And up to this point, no weird stuff. And also no weird stuff happening at the 21 convention. I shared a room with Jesse. It was just Jesse and I in one room, and then Nick Gonzalez in the other room, right next door. And you can confirm that, Tony, because if you remember, you picked us up.
Oh, I remember well. Yeah, absolutely.
You escorted us, and I walked out of the room with Jesse. So and no weird stuff happened that trip at all. If anything, it got me closer to Jesse, because we had like late night talks, like about life and about my insecurities, things that, you know, was like real deep to me, and he would tell me about, you know, about how to overcome that. And I was like, cool, man. So I left that trip feeling like on cloud 9. So fast forward to early March or late February. I would have to confirm that on my schedule, because the way I keep track of the dates is not because I wrote them down. And here's the thing to all the people that want proof. I don't want to remember this stuff. You get me? Like, I didn't want to be like, hold on, Jesse, you gonna do this to me? Let me record real quick. This is like, yeah, let's do it. Like, that's weird. I wasn't even thinking that to expose him would be to expose myself. Like, and I wasn't ready for that. But anyways, late March, early February, whatever. I had just cleaned the bond office, because I got hired in December of 2020. I got somewhere around that time, I got hired to work at the bond office every single Friday. So I'm at the bond office, and up to this point, Jesse and I are close. We're already, you know, long hugs. Him telling me he loves me like a son. He would call me every night, not every night, but every other night, check in. How was work? How was your business? How are you dealing with life? Oh, good, Jesse. Thank you. Thanks for checking in. But it wasn't until that day I went over to his room, and it was a Friday night. And I remember, and this is also because someone asked the question of how can you say he pulled down your pants? Like, and to that defense, you made me thanks to whoever left that comment, because you made me remember. At this point, I was already working out like consistently, because I was like, you know, motivated. I was like feeling on top of the world. I was working out consistently, trying to make myself stronger. So was Jesse. So I would take off my shirt, and he would look at my body like, oh man, like, and I would do it because, oh, Jesse, let me show you the work I've been doing. Look, check this out. I'm not proud of that. I probably shouldn't have done that, but hey, man, whatever. And then at one point I would tell him, oh, I'm working on squats. And then he's like, oh, let me see your legs. So at first it started with like pulling up, my pants, like from the boot up to the leg. But then it became, oh, take off your pants. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just pose right here. And by the way, the whole time the door is locked, so no one saw this stuff. So that's what led to the moment where it first happened. I believe I had taken off my pants, and then it was just me sitting in like my boxers, and then him kneeling in front of me because I was about to, and he would do this pretty often where I would want to pull up my pants, but he would be like, no, don't do that. I'm like, what do you mean, Jesse? Like, stop, man. I'm trying to pull up my pants. He's like, no, come on. Like, and he would just do his little laugh, like, and then, but then that's when he did it, right? And then I went into the silent prayer, and first he pulled down my boxers, and then he starts rubbing it, and he's like, hey, why is it getting hard? I'm like, why are you asking this? Like, of course it's gonna get hard if anybody touches it. Like, come on, it's a penis, man. Come on. And then he would laugh, and then he did it, right? And then I'm just shocked also, but I'm also letting him do it, which is a shameful for me to admit. But I mean,
well, Samuel, this is where I'm getting at it too. I mean, the fact that you're telling us this, I can't imagine how difficult that is. I truly can't. What is your, we talked in private, what is your reason to tell this now? I think this is a really important question. And you answered me when I asked you this privately.
Yeah, hold on, Tony. Let me clock out of my job. I'm gonna just mute my mic.
Okay.
All right.
So, boyos, what do you think so far? I'm curious, Uncle Guns and Woody. I mean, you're getting. I mean, this is, this
Well,
is
it's definitely hard to listen to.
It's very difficult to listen to.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, so like I heard Woody say, it's hard to listen to. Man, that's the reason why it took me so long to come out. And what's so shameful about it is that even after that first happened, and I'll answer your question, Tony. But I just want to say one more thing. Even before, like when it first happened, I went home and I was like, that's it, man. Like all your insecurities of you being a homosexual, they're true now. Like this is what you were avoiding, and now it's true. So that was so hard to deal with because I never wanted to be that, but somehow I allowed it to happen, and that was so hard to admit to myself. So the next day, and I gotta add this, and then I'll answer your question. But the next day, I had a job, and I was there the whole day, right? And the whole time I'm thinking about it, like, oh my God, this happened. How can you let this happen, man? Like, what's wrong with you? All of those thoughts inside of my mind. And I called Jesse in the afternoon after my job, and he's like, just let it go. I thought it's lies. And I said, Jesse, I'm dealing with now. I'm questioning if I'm homosexual or not. And he's like, he laughs and he's like, that's what Satan told me too. And I'm like, damn, this guy, he's like, instead of helping out, he's like making me feel worse about it. So then and then after that, he's like, just let it go. All thoughts are lies. His whole spiel, all thoughts are lies all the time. So, and the last time that I saw him face to face, he came to my house unannounced after a Friday show or something, I think. And my mom woke me because I still live with my mom. Yeah, that's beta. But I'm looking to get out. But I live in the back. All right, I live in the back. I pay rent. I pay bills. I work all the time. I'm not, I'm not proud of it, but I'm also, whatever. Anyways, my mom wakes me up. She's like, Samuel, there's a black man outside for you. I'm like, what? I look at my phone and I noticed that it was Jesse calling me, and he left texts. Or I think he just called and left voicemails. And then I'm like, oh, I knew exactly who it was. So I went out there, And in hindsight, I wish I would have reported his ass, because it would have been like, he's on my property, you know, public property. So it would have been like proof for all the proofers. But anyways, he's like, he wanted to cut, I opened my gate. He wanted to walk into my gate. And I'm like, nah, you're no longer, you're not coming in anywhere close to me anymore. What do you want? He's like, oh, I just wanted to tell you something. Here, come here, come into my truck. So I went in his truck, and I was kind of scared because Jesse, he carries a weapon in his car. It's not a firearm, but it is a weapon that could cause a lot of damage. So, as any like famous man should, you know, or anybody that's in a public image, they should have something to protect themselves, or any man, honestly. So I was scared. I was like, damn, is he about to freaking like off me right now? Because of, you know, he's scared. Because that was very irrational for him to come to my house unannounced.
Has
But
he ever
anyway,
been to your house before?
before, yeah, he had. So he had come to my house once when I was painting my sister's room, and he just came and he's like, oh, I want to see your work. Like, let me see your work. And I took pride in my work. I take pride in everything I do, like as far as jobs go. In the cars that I wash, everything. So I wanted to show him, and so he came, and then he sat in my couch, talked for a little bit. He was like, you know, we had a little conversation then and there. No weird stuff happened, but anyways, back to when the last time I saw him, he's telling me all this spiel of like, look, Samuel, I know you're like dealing with this and you don't know what to do, but I just want to warn you not to tell anybody your business. Anything you've been through, don't tell anybody, because they're just going to turn on you like they turn on everybody. Like, if you notice, anybody that shares all their vices, all that happens to them is that they get turned on, you know? So I'm like, look, Jesse, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna tell people, but all I know is I'm done. I'm done with Bond. I'm done with you. I want nothing to do with you ever again. Don't ever come to my house ever again. And I also told him, look, Jesse, I remember the day that you after the day after it first happened, I called you like scared and like confused, and you told me that Satan told you that I was gay. And after that day, I would just question myself, always question myself. I never ever questioned Jesse, which is another shameful thing, and it goes to the cult personality, like the cult psychology, that you don't question the person that is causing damage to you, you question yourself. And yeah, Jesse says, don't put me on a pedestal, but he sets it up to where you do put him on a pedestal. So anyways, what I told him is like, look, I never questioned you, but what I should have asked you, I should have asked you if you're gay. And he's like, no. Before I even said it, he said, no. And then I knew then this guy is gay. Like, he is actually gay, but because, you know, when you ask somebody a question and they're guilty, it's not all the time, but if they have the answer immediately before you finish what you say, that's like a guilty conscience to me.
How else did he explain that to you?
What happened?
How did he explain that to you when you asked him that question?
That he's not. Oh, that he's not. Are you gay? He just said no. And he said what happened between you and I, it was a mistake. Like I fell into it. Like it was just a mistake. It was a mistake. It wasn't like because he's a homosexual. It's because it was a mistake for him. So then I'm like, all right, Jesse, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I like wasn't having it anymore. I was like, whatever, man. So I was like, that's it, Jesse. No more. Don't ever show up to my house again. Don't ever call me. You and I were nothing anymore. Don't ever call me your son. Don't ever tell me you love me like a son, because I understand now you do not love me. If you love me, you would have never done this stuff. And anyways, to answer your question, and I just wanted to add those things because, like, I don't know. It was a mental, like, consciousness or whatever, stream of consciousness, as they call it. But to answer your question, why am I doing this? Because I gotta warn people. I gotta warn other young men and women too of Jesse. Like he's a very, very seductive man. He's clever like a fox. He is he's very influential. Um and he is a liar, man, straight up. It was hard for me to admit that, you know, or like to see that, to face that reality for a long time. But yeah, ultimately it's because he's using the name of Jesus Christ, the religion of Jesus Christ, and God in like a very evil way. And so to offer a little clarity as to what led me to do it, that's my why. But what led me to like come out and go on his documentary is because when Patrick Rooney released the articles in November of 2021, I believe. Yeah, just last year, November 2021. Yeah. Um, he that like shook my whole world. I was like, oh my God, now what I went through is not like a fluke. It's not a one-time thing. And I saw what Jesse had, like he wanted for me, you know. And just to set the record straight, um, I never had sex with Jesse. Never was. I never did anything to him. I never saw him naked. I never did anything to him ever. It was always him coming on to me, and I just was like helpless about it. Like, because from the first time it happened, I decided to go back after like a few moments, a few days of thinking about it, mulling it over in my mind. I ultimately decided to go back, and hey, that's on me. That's my fault. I'll take full responsibility for it. Um, but he told me I'll never do it again, and he did it again. But by this second time he did it, it was like, oh, again, and I let it happen again. Oh man, well, it's like my defense got less and less, and and sin works like that. Like when you do sin, it's like a downward spiral. You just can continue committing it, and you like um what's it called, justify it in your mind as okay. You like become in denial of the sin. So then Patrick released those it was like a 6 month thing between Jesse and I, right? Something like that. I don't know. Let's just say 6 months. I know that and I spoke to a friend yesterday that was like, hey man, you got to be more clear when you speak, because you open the door to like suspicion of if you're credible if you say like, oh, it might have been this or it might have been that. But my defense to that is that I don't have like exact dates. I haven't wrote this down and said this is the date, this is the date, you know. So anyways, Patrick Rooney released those things, and then I was like, that's it. I can no longer neglect what I have seen, or what I've experienced. And I know now what Jesse has in store for me is not good. It led me to look at myself, how ashamed I was for letting it happen, how much in sin I was. It caused me to like read verses in the Bible of like God saying very clearly, those homosexuals will not inherit the kingdom of God. And I was like scared. I was like, oh my God, that's it. I'm not gonna, you know. So then also it was like I saw Martin Francis, Fabian Asensio, and other Armand outside of Bonn protesting. And I was like, I can't walk up next to those guys and they show me their signs of saying Jesse's a homosexual predator. And I look at them in the eye and say, either just look away and act like it never happened, or look him in the eye and say, no, that's not true. Like, what kind of man would that make me? So I was like, hey, nah, man, I can't do that. So anyways, after that, it took me a while. It took me like a month to tell Martin Francis, and then I talked to Patrick Rooney. And when I talked to Patrick Rooney, that was it for him. That was like the last straw, because he realized that it was going on now, you know, in the moment, as I'm talking in the past and now or recently. And then that led to that led to more like aggressive protesting from Martin to where he got served with a restraining order. He went to court. He beat it. Jesse and James lied in court. There's legal documents to prove it. They lied and said that Martin appeared to have guns. That James stated that he once went to a theater with Martin Francis, and James was like scared of him because he said, I have a gun, like, to protect myself. And then you got to think about it, like James and Jesse, they say that they're all pro Second Amendment, all alpha, but why is it scary? Why are they trying to build a case against Martin Francis that he's somehow like wacky because he was carrying a gun way long ago in a theater? Although it was illegal, he was illegally carrying, and Martin faced the consequences for that. But still, like, come on, man, you can't call yourself a conservative, and if you're like bringing that up, you know. And then another thing Jesse said, there's a video on this, you could go watch it on Martin Francis YouTube. Jesse straight up lied, said some like real like lies of Martin. And when you think about it, Martin has been a diehard supporter of Jesse for like 30 years. Long time, man. Like, it's not even funny. Like, I've been to the Bond house. Martin Francis would buy lunch, would buy clothes for Jesse, would do his laundry, would vacuum his room. He was like Jesse's right-hand man. So these things are serious. Like, it's not a joke. But anyways, Tony, you got anything to say?
Yeah, a couple things. First, I want to tell everybody that, like, for Samuel to come out and say this, you guys do understand that the repercussions, if he was lying, would be disastrous with this right now. I mean, you guys understand that Jesse is not, he's not Tony Bruno, he's not Uncle Guns, he's not Woody Johnson. He's a major public figure, okay? And to say this live right now, I mean, we got in depth, of course, when we talked this week.
Yeah.
There's one thing I do want to ask you. Now, you brought it up to Hermaeus. I got to ask you this question. Did Hermaeus leave Bond?
Yes. He left Bond
Because of this situation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so real brief, I don't want to talk too much on a friend, you know, that I haven't gotten his permission, but real brief, Hermes asked me, hey, is one a mutual friend told Hermes after I told a mutual friend of Hermes and I, which also was a Bond member at the time, who also left after I told him because he automatically believed me. This friend told Hermes, right, in a lunch after a Sunday service, and Hermes was like, "What? That makes sense. No wonder Samuel's not coming to church anymore." So then he called me that night. He was like, "Hey, I need to speak to you," and I was like, "Yeah, I'll tell." So I told him everything I'm telling you guys. I told Hermes, and anybody that's ever asked on a phone call, I've told them the same stuff. And then after that, Hermes was like, "Hey, man, look, I believe you." And then he was like, then after that, he made his decision. He had to leave, but before that, he went to Jesse, and in Jesse's office, he said, "Hey, Samuel told me this. Are these things true?" And Jesse was like, "What?" Samuel said, "What? No, let me call Samuel up right now so he could come and so we could settle this right now." And Hermes was like, "Okay." Jesse never called me. He didn't get me on the phone. And right then and there, Hermes knew, yeah, something's off with this. Because if he's not willing to have me on the phone on a three-way conversation and let everything out in light, then something's wrong. So then after that, Hermes made a decision to leave. And I hope if Hermes is watching this or hears this, man, I hope, I didn't share too much. And if I do, please correct me on that.
Well, I think that somebody like Hermes needs to speak up too, because sitting back and being silent, and you guys are friends, correct?
Yeah, we are, but it's a personal decision. I'm not gonna. I didn't tell people so they could like join forces with me and like let's bring them down. I told them because I feel like it's my duty as a man, as a Christian man, to tell the truth, especially once they like started clicking. Like, dang, Jesse's using his influence to as a as an evil way. Like he really is using his influence, and the things he says about Jesus Christ and God, he's really not about it. So that needs to be exposed. Like that, like Anthony Johnson, he's exposing the fraud. I agree with that. Exposing the fakeness, especially I think in a spiritual matter, like someone that is a pastor of a church. Although since these allegations came out or these things came out, I'll call them allegations, I guess. Jesse has stopped calling himself a pastor. You know, he still says, "Oh, this is church with Jesse Lee Peterson," but he has made it a point to say, "Guys, I'm just Jesse. I'm not a pastor. Um, God gave me this. Um, and if you think if you think I'm above you, then something's wrong with you." Like guilting the people into following him. Like, and
Well,
then what?
if you heard that clip, so when was the last time? Because Jesse came on my channel right after Christmas. And I think the last time was either right before that, correct?
Jesse came on right after Christmas, you said?
Yep. Not too long after he was sick, maybe a month or so after he was sick or passed out on the air.
Yeah, I remember that. So what was your question again?
So the last time was very close to when he came on this channel.
The last time of what?
With you and him.
Tony?
Yeah. Lost you
Okay.
for a minute.
Yeah. Last time what? The last time that he sorry, a call came in. But
It's okay. The last time that anything happened with you and him.
oh, with him and I, the last time it happened, I'll go to my calendar right now.
I see we got 25, 26 people watching right now. So I'm just curious of what you guys are thinking in the chat. I see Jubine. I see he's made a few comments. Mr. Finn, I wonder if you're still watching. This is hard to listen to. It is. I get that. But
Oh, hello. My bad.
yep. No, go ahead, man.
Oh no, I said November 6th for sure. I remember that being the last time it happened, and it was the same thing where I'm laying down in the couch, but now I'm not in the silent prayer. Now I'm like watching TV right there, and he's touching me, you know, and I'm just like watching cops on the TV. Like it's sad honestly to say it, but him just touching me like oh man, like me just allowing it, like, oh, this is a normal thing to be happening. I'm just watching cops on the TV. It's sick and shameful on my part.
Primal Man, I thought he said he didn't remember when any of this happened. He didn't write it down. Do you understand? You didn't understand what he said. And you look like a complete asshole right now, just so you know.
Hey, Primal Man, what I mean by that is that I don't have like exact dates. So I do have some exact dates because I reference them to days I had detailing jobs. Because as a business owner, especially if you offer a service, you got to write people in your schedule. Otherwise, you might forget. So I just write that down. So I remember those as like points of reference. I didn't go down and write like after it first happened. Today, Jesse did this to me, and I felt like this, and this is what I think I should do. I didn't journal it. I didn't take pictures. I didn't try to incriminate Jesse because I was incriminated myself.
There, you got your answer. So you and Gonzo can laugh about it.
Hey, look, I don't mind those guys like being skeptics and stuff. You know, I really,
It's a time to listen, though. You know,
yeah, it is. I get it.
there's a time to be a bitch, and now ain't the time, Primal Man.
I don't know. I'll just say this, that listening to Pastor Michael Foster has like helped me a lot the past few days and kind of put me in the right track. I've been reading the Bible, trying to not let this like,
Hang on. First of all, don't tell me to simmer down. You can talk about this to your 2 viewers sometime, okay? Fuck. You still there, Samuel? We lost
yeah,
you.
I'm here. I just had to send a text out. But yeah, I appreciate Pastor Michael Foster.
Have
I
you
have
been
been
to him?
real brief, like in texts.
Okay, good.
But I have been listening to like his sermons and
Good.
his podcasts and stuff because yeah, I just, you know, I'd rather listen to what he's already said than like, I don't know, I just feel like it's the right thing to do, to like listen to somebody's content before you kind of talk to them,
Mhm.
so you can see where, you know, where they're at and how they can help you. um but yeah, I've been reading the Bible, and man,
I'm really I'm proud of you because I'm not seeing any anger, you know.
yeah, man, it's hard to have any anger when I'm ashamed for the things that I let happen, you know, like even anger to myself. Like, yeah, it's easy to have anger to myself, but and at Jesse, I told him multiple times, I forgive you, Jesse, but that doesn't mean what you think it means. He wanted me to like remain close to him. He offered me um a show. And actually the last day I ever went to church, which is super weird. And okay, I also say December 31st is when I first confronted Jesse about everything. I sat on that same couch. I looked him in the eyes. I said, Jesse, I need to talk to you. I said, I read what Patrick had to say. Now I realize what you did to me was really evil. It showed me that all thoughts are lies. Spiel is all fake, because the thoughts that were telling me to get out and get up and pull up my pants and get out like a man, you were telling me ignore all thoughts. But was my thoughts were telling me was get out, but I ignored them because I was listening to you. So you always say, look within, right? Look within. God is within you. Do the silent prayer, look within. But you made me look without. You made me listen to your voice while you did what you had to do to me, you know, while you would get up, stroke it, walk away, get up, do it. And then I told him also, like, you always say you love me, right? You love me. And I told him, now I realize you do not love me, because a man that loves someone would not do that to another man. And then he just looks at me like this. He's like, well, I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. And I was like, all right, Jesse, well, that's it. I just want to let you know, look, I forgive you because I understand my role in this. I'm not, and I don't, and I've struggled with this. Like, I almost put up a post on YouTube like, hey, I'm one of the victims. But it's hard for me to consider myself a victim, man. Like, honestly.
And I talked about that earlier tonight, is about, you know, can a man be a victim? You know, but the whole point is that Jesse is not selling cars. Okay. He's selling Christianity. He fights against homosexuality. He fights against all this stuff. He's the biggest proponent of it. He screams at it every day. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
the problem that I see, and it takes, you know, the fact that you came on here and are talking about it is kind of blowing my mind. I mean, I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this. I offered if you wanted to come on. I said, if it's no big deal, right? I mean, we got our text message. You know, you want to, and you said you weren't ready, and I accepted that. I said, that's fine. I said, don't worry. You got brothers behind you. And you were not forced into this. I didn't coerce you into doing anything. You know, but I also feel that it's okay to get your story out if you're willing and you're ready is what's most important. If you're ready to do this and talk about it, which you were, then that's fine. You know, and that's important to me. What's important to me, Samuel, is you in this whole thing. None of this other crap. And that's what I tried to convey to other people. I was concerned about you. That was the biggest thing. Anthony is concerned about you. Michael Foster is concerned about you. This has nothing to do with Jesse and has everything to do with you. But I think it took a lot of guts. It took a lot. It's not like people don't understand. It's not like the company gave you tons of money to talk about this, or I paid you to come on here. This is of your own free will. You know, this could have huge legal ramifications. And the fact, the fact that you would come on here and talk about it.
Yeah, I'm willing, like I said earlier, and I'll say this to the camera, I'm willing to go under oath. All the things that I said in this video could be used against me, and I'll clarify the story if needed with details. It doesn't matter. I'm willing to do it. But I don't think Jesse, and this is not to goad him into doing a lawsuit, because honestly, I've never been in the law system. I've never been in the legal system. I never went to jail. I never had to get a lawyer. So I'm not like challenging him, take me to court. But all I'm saying is I'm willing to put my right hand on the Bible and under oath say these things and looking everybody straight in the eye.
Yeah, that's tough, man. You got a lot of strength, bro. And I'll commend you on your strength in Christianity still. It's surprising that you're not angry at this point. It really is. I got to commend you on that, you know.
And well, like I said, thank you. And Anthony had me cracking up with the things he was saying, like the ways he was imitating the guys he calls dumb and stuff. Hey, I would consider myself like one of those dumb guys that fell for Jesse. So, hey, if it could happen to me, it could happen to anybody, I guess. But I appreciate you, Anthony, and Pastor Michael Foster. Although I haven't spoken to him on the phone, just through text, he's been a lot of help. You know, you guys have been a lot of help the past few days. And the reason I decided to come on here is because I'm like, damn, these guys. I also in myself, I saw that there needs to be a little clarification because the documentary was real short. You know, some people are like, what the hell? Why would he let that happen? Or why now? Or
yeah, I see a couple streams where, you know, and I had asked you that question, you know, and I mean, to give it a little more context, you were sexually abused as a child.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a little bit deeper into this in our phone call too.
Yeah.
But I'll do commend you for coming on here and talking about it. I can't imagine that it's easy. I just can't. I can't imagine it's easy.
Very brave. I commend you as well, sir. Very brave.
Thank you, Uncle Guns. Appreciate it.
So, you know, like I was telling you privately and told people in the stream tonight, this is just the beginning. It's not the end. And I think that at this point, I'm just shaking my head. I have been since we spoke.
Yeah, man. Sometimes I like this thing is hard, man. Like and not to like bring pity upon myself, because as a man, you got to go through tough things. And you know, shout out to Pastor Michael Foster. Like, I think God sets up shame as a way to like as a correcting design in our souls, and I feel a lot of shame for it. and it's caused me to like really straighten up like a lot. So I'm grateful for that, you know. Thank God, thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior.
That's incredible to me that you can even say that now. It kind of blows my mind. It really does. It gives me faith in faith that you can say that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you know, like that's why it's important to like fellowship, you know, like and in this and I love Christianity for that. And I gotta shout out Pastor Michael Foster, and I gotta call him Pastor out of respect. Um, um, he's helped me like in a short amount of time, but listening to him set me straight, you know. And I think he would tell me, and I might be wrong, but he would tell me like what you're feeling is like right, that you're feeling that way, you know, like the shame and the guilt. Now I don't know what he might say to like how to overcome it, but actually I might, yeah, have faith in Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. But yeah, like I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, I just wanted to give my gratitude to you guys, man.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Like I said, it takes a lot to come on and talk about it. You know, if somebody had stuffed your pockets with money or anything, but from what I understand, you know, it's like I told a few people, Samuel's kind of alone right now, and we're not going to let him be like that. We're just not going to do it. So
Appreciate that. Yeah, I was at work, and every day at work, I do push-ups every hour. I come on my break, I do like 50 dips or push-ups. I'm like really trying to make myself strong, you know, like physically and mentally. And spiritually, most importantly. But anyways, I gotta get going. Joshua Elderman, thank you. Elderman, that last name sounds familiar. I don't know if it's. I read a book about biblical manhood by a guy with the last name Elderman, and it was pretty cool. I like the way he put it. But it might not be the same guy, but it just reminded me of that.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And well, Samuel, I appreciate your time. And, you know, obviously, you know, you can reach out to me. You know, we're chatting in private. So,
yeah.
But you've got an army behind you now. And I do appreciate you telling your story. It's nothing that I don't want people to think I'm proud to have you tell that story, because I'm not. I'm going to say it bothers me. It bothers me, but I'm just glad that other people can kind of see what I've been seeing for the past week, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's important, you know? And as men, you know, if we don't stick by our brothers, I think that's important, you know? I really do. I think it's important to stand by your brothers. I'm not going to discount you like a lot of people have. I'm not going to do it. Again, after hearing your story, I'm just not going to do it. It's not going to happen. So
I appreciate that, man. It's got me really like thinking about the psychology of someone that comes out with these type of stories, of allegations. You know, how would I deal with it if someone came to me? In the past, I might not even know, I guess, but now I really gotta like, I have like a firsthand experience, I guess. So my point is that the psychology is like really it's almost like irrational at some times, where that's why all these questions are like, well, why would he stay? It doesn't make sense. Or why would he let him do that? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. That's why it was so shameful to like even tell anybody in the beginning, you know?
Does everybody watching right now and everybody watching in the future, do y'all understand now, while I say I don't give advice, I give support? And I think that's what a lot of people need to do. They need to support their friends, people that are in trouble, people that are in need. Support is so much more valuable than advice. So, have I given you one bit of advice, Samuel?
Yeah. Which was
Well,
One, well,
about law, maybe.
yeah, about law, which is
Yeah.
which is I appreciate that because like I said, I didn't plan. Oh, I'm gonna get a lawyer before I do all this. Nah, I don't have honestly don't have that much money to even do that. You know, I never thought like I'm gonna need a lawyer, and you know why? Because I'm not lying. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in fear of getting sued. That's what it truly is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But most of my stuff is I got you. I got your back. I'm going to
yep,
support
that's
you.
what it is. Support, yeah. Like the past few days,
Yeah. The only thing I did say was, yeah, you need to get some legal counsel.
yeah,
You know, I don't know if I'd call that advice versus just a recommendation.
yeah, recommendation or a thing to think about. Yeah. So, but yeah, as far as like no advice, you just tell me, hey, text me. You text me every day. Hey, just want to let you know I'm here for you. You got brothers behind you. You got me behind you to support you. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when I say that to somebody, I mean it, you know, so
yeah,
I'm available for you 24/7, man.
yeah. Well, I'm a peace out. I got to get home.
Okay.
It was good being on here. Thanks, Uncle Guns. And I read some of the comments. I think Joshua. I appreciate it, man. And God bless you. God bless you, Tony. And God bless you all. Peace.
All right. Peace. Thanks,
Peace,
Sam.
brother. Peace.
Take care.
Yep.
It takes strength, you know, whether you believe it or not. Like Tony said, it takes strength to come forward and tell your side of the story. And you got to give this man that, at least that.
Yeah. And I get it. It's hard for people to recognize that. It's hard for people to look at Jesse and say that, man, it's been tough for me. You know, Anthony had mentioned at the beginning of the stream, a couple of people had, you know, I had to take some time and really process it, you know. I want to say I'm still not done processing it, to be honest. And when I say
Me
process,
neither.
I have to.
I don't know any of these people, and you guys are way closer to the situation than I am, and
it's just going to start for you now. So
yeah, I mean,
because now people know most everything that was said to me. So let me make sure this is Goss here real quick. Goss, is this you?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good.
All right.
Yeah, man. Were you listening?
Only at the end, but I that's why I didn't want to like interrupt him. So I just want to say props to him and props to you for you know, putting this stuff out here, because a couple years ago I was in the beauty industry, and you know, there's a lot of support for women when this stuff happens, but you know, when it's a guy, it's, you know, a lot of times you're right, he doesn't have a lot of support. So
yeah, and I just think that, again, you know, the issue is that, you know, Jesse is supposed to be a man of God, and people follow him for that. And I know somebody's going to jump in my shit when they say, "Oh, we're not following him. We're following his message." Yeah, but he's the one delivering the message. Okay. So to have something like that told to you, there were some other things that he told me too, which I'm sure will come out eventually. So I think what he's doing right now is really just, I think he's getting freedom by telling about it, talking about it. I think it's freeing for him, and I think that's. I don't even know how he does it. I truly don't. I think most people would just go and
you got to talk about it. As a you know, former member of several cults and having served in the military with, you know, PTSD is a real thing. Primal Studies in the chat, he'll tell you, you know, you got to talk about it, and the more you talk about it, the less traumatic it gets, you know. And on top of that,
you're helping yourself, you help healing yourself, and you're letting other people know that, hey, this guy said some stuff that was uncomfortable. Maybe I should go talk to someone. Maybe it is okay for me to go seek some professional help. Maybe it is okay for me to talk to somebody that I trust and get this off, to get this, no pun, but to get this off my chest and get it out there, get it off of me, get it out of me, get it out of my soul, and let me just say what I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, I just found out about this like 2-3 days ago, and but I was never like a huge fan of Jesse or anything like that. But as far as Sam is concerned, I mean, how long ago did this happen to him?
The last time was in November of last year.
Oh, okay, all right, understood. Yeah, I think he's probably just at the very beginning.
Players involved, which I'm hoping that they speak up. Guys like Hermaeus, who I've spoken to and met in person, I hope these guys do speak up. I don't want to put their ass to the fire right now, but I'm going to put their ass to the fire. Like it's time for some collaborations of events and stories. I mean, it's time. It's time to, like Jesse says, stand up. It's time to stand up. If this was your brother or your daughter or your son or your sister or somebody who's going through this, you can bet your ass you'd stand up. So let me, Primal Man, that's the smartest thing you've said all night right there. And I don't mean to jump in your ship, but when somebody's talking, like let the guy talk without your comments.
Do you think that the anger part of the situation is going to come eventually for Sam, like farther down the road?
I thought about that, but he's that's why I gotta say, I'm gonna say that's already passed.
I'll agree with that. From what I've seen from him, he's just going to keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any stopping this guy. I think you're going to see some great things from him.
And that's it's not like they filled his pockets with money or anything like that. I did not expect him to come on tonight. That was his choice. I had said, hey, if you want to come on and chat, that's up to you. But there's no pressure, nothing, And again, like I had said, it's funny when I asked him if I gave him advice. I guess I did give him advice on like it's time to lawyer up, and we have avenues already right now that if the people that he did the documentary doesn't lawyer him up, we've got somebody that will. So just a matter of time. These things take time, but after hearing a story like that, and if you're not skeptical, I don't like calling it a story. If you don't hear we'll call it a testimony, testimony of truth. And if you guys think he's lying, well, I kind of feel sorry for you at this point.
Yeah, I'm curious, how long this has been going on, because it takes a real, I'm not going to say, but, he prey on guys who are at risk. So if this comes to light, he could say, well, so-and-so did XYZ in the past, so don't believe them, that kind of thing. Or maybe some of the guys, are have financial situations where they can't afford to lawyer up,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, real bad all the way around.
I think at this point, what's going to happen is that I think as it starts to move forward, I think there'll be lawyers that will take this just to take it. So yeah, I'm going to agree with you being right here, man. Yep. Yeah. Thanks for the approval. I like asking questions Primal Man, you can't see past your fucking nose. you got to be, you have to be like, dude, you are so out of touch with reality, bro. Sometimes I don't know if you're being a smart ass or just, you know, whatever. There you go. If you think if you think he is lying, you're a Bond cult member. Absolutely. I don't know. I think some of these guys need to actually grow up a little and look at things, you know, for what they are. So, you know, you guys can be pissed off at Anthony. I don't care. You know, that's Anthony is Anthony. That's just the way it is. And there ain't nobody going to change him, you know. So if you want to go back at him again, it's not personal. Remember, that's the whole theme, right, Guns? It's not personal. So it kind of irritates me when somebody says that. Let's jump in somebody's shit, but I'll say it's not personal. I'll put a thumbnail out with your pictures on it, but it's not personal. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. So anything more on this, Guns or Goss or anybody in the chat?
No, as you know, I hope everything gets resolved and everyone finds peace.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I don't have much to add as well.
Yeah, I mean, I could see his resistance in wanting to come out and talk about this because there is nothing like, you know, there's nothing like Jesse had told him, like people will think bad of you, like you don't want to do this. So I just I'm just still in shock that he actually came out and talked about it. So I don't know what anybody else thinks about it. So yeah, I didn't expect that tonight, but that's quite an ending for tonight. So if Guns, you got any final words, we'll wrap it up.
I got a deep show, definitely one of the more serious, you know, reality checks. This was a namesake episode, should I say? Definitely a namesake episode, reality check. Always great being here. Great show.
Thanks, man. I didn't expect that. It was just we're just going to talk about cults, but you know, now you got a little bit more information, and you guys can do what you want. But I'm going to tell anybody watching this, or people are going to talk about this, if you're going to continue to, I guess, to discredit somebody. I haven't discredited Jesse at all. I haven't discredited him. I asked him, I want you to speak up. I want you to address this publicly. So I think he's discrediting himself at this point. So Gus, any last comments or?
Not anything other than, you know, what I said about, you know, thanks for offering a platform and support to Sam and men who have to deal with the situation. Yeah,
it's a tough one. It's a tough one. So, but yeah, I want to thank everybody in the chat tonight, everybody who spent time with us. You know, a lot of places and a lot of things you could have gone to tonight, but you chose to come here. So I appreciate that. You know, I don't do this for money. I don't do this for validation. I do this for conversations and maybe for guys just to talk about things, man. And I'm glad Samuel came on. I do commend him for having the stones to do that tonight. I didn't expect it and didn't, like I said, didn't coerce him into doing it. But, you know, this is a big deal. I mean, it really is. It's a big deal if you think about it, to come out, you know, live and talk about a major public figure and your experiences that you had with him. Hey, you know, this is punishable by law. I mean, let's get real. So maybe this will get around. Maybe it won't. If it does, that's great. If it doesn't, well, I think, again, this is just the beginning. So, but yeah, I appreciate everybody watching tonight. I'm going to end this, and much love, honor, and respect to everybody. Appreciate everybody in the chat. And we will might see you this weekend. You never know. We'll see how I feel. If not, I'll see you next Thursday on Reality Check. Cheers.
Peace.